Whoever becomes the dominant community will take over the nation. Doesn't matter what you say. And let me say something very carefully. That culture could become dominant quietly. Case in point, do you remember what made Pharaoh? Some don't understand Pharaoh. I understand Pharaoh's problem. Do you know what made Pharaoh kill the babies? He tells us why. He says, look, these people are slaves in my country, but the slaves are multiplying faster, he says, than the Egyptians. He says, and they will become greater than we are, and their sons will take up arms and destroy us. In other words, if you're not careful, whoever becomes the largest and most dominant community will become the ruling power. This is important. Can I use another word that you heard before? Let them have dominion over the earth. God sent you here to become the dominant influence on earth from heaven. So if you are not careful, a community could be building around you in secret. And one morning you wake up, you got to change your language, you got to change your policies.
There we live in a country where more than 70% of those who are a part of our educational enterprise are the children of illegal immigrants. We have a problem that needs to be addressed. Brethren and sisters, there is a humane way, yes. There is a need for labor force, yes. But we are in an age where in a particular school in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, children of illegal immigrants lift up a particular flag and dare Bahamian students to pass that way because they declare that is their territory. This is what we are up against. And unless somebody is crazy enough to say that
Amen.
has to be done,
Amen. Right, Satan.
what happens? For after all, we fought for the Bahamas, for Bahamians, and after 57 years, there ought to be a Bahamian people who are prepared to take charge and to decree and declare that while we celebrate what others have done and while we sympathize with the plight of others, we do not do so at our own peril, so we cannot cut off our nose despite our face.
I have a responsibility for all persons in our country, whether they be here illegally.
Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I know how to do all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you.
Yes, sir.
And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there for you. I don't call you all, no, you all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian, and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. We have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. You know now.
Are you all ready and willing to go?
Live at the COI headquarters, the Empowerment Center, and this is COI Live, and it is Sunday, and it is a rainy Sunday, so thank you for tuning in and spending your evening with me. It's always a pleasure to have you spend your evening with me, and thank you for all those who came down to the studio to be here with us as we discuss this important topic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious one. Our country is in peril. Our country is in trouble. And if we don't do something, if we don't stand up, this is going to be it. It's simple as that. Someone has to be real and say what's going on. We can't hide this. We can't put our heads in the sand and pretend it's not happening, because it's happening, whether your head is in the sand or not. Our country is being taken over, and our governments with an S, are the ones who are making this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we meaning the government of the Bahamas, has just passed the asylum bill in the House of Assembly. This is the Fnm's asylum bill. I'm going to show you that. They just passed it in the House of Assembly, and then after that, they passed it in the Senate. That means it goes back to the House of Assembly, and then it goes to the Governor General, and then it's gazetted, and then it's law. Ladies and gentlemen, once that becomes law, we're in trouble. I hope you understand what that means. Once that becomes law, that's it. There's no coming back from there. It's a serious situation that we have now found ourselves in. And because we did not listen to Loftus Roker all those years ago, we're stuck. We're stuck. And many don't know if there really is a way out. But regardless of what it is, it's going to take strong Bahamians, real patriotic Bahamians, to fight this. Because if we don't fight it, no one is going to fight it for us. Help is not coming from nowhere. And there are many people from other nations internationally who don't care. They want this to happen. They're not worried about you. They're not worried about how this is going to affect you. That's your problem. Deal with it. But we're going to have a little discussion about how it is affecting other nations and how it's affecting our nation, and how it's going to affect our nations. There are other nations who are in serious problems because of these same types of bills, these same types of situations. They are in serious peril because of it. And we have to now ask ourselves, do we go down that same road? Is that where we want to be headed? I don't think we do. And so if we're going to take this seriously, we got to stand up. So I just want to get you ready for a serious conversation today. And again, I hope you're ready for this conversation, because it has to happen in any event. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you who came out, who sacrificed yourselves, who put yourselves out there on the firing line, who came on the front line with us to make sure that our country was safe, and to make sure that the government knew that you did not condone of this evil asylum bill that's going to destroy our country. I say that because this asylum bill is destroying other nations bigger than ours. It's doing that right now as we speak. Canada's economy, their beautiful economy, number 2 in this side of the world, has been destroyed. Their leader has been forced to step down because of this same asylum bill. England is in peril. They don't know what they're going to do. They've had 5 prime ministers in the last 6 years, or 6 in the last 5 years, one of them. And they don't know where to go from here. Well, I can tell you that if England, that was a great empire, can be destroyed over this, what about little old us? If Canada and other nations can be destroyed over this, you see what was happening in America. Trump had to come and set that thing right. If that can happen to them, what is going to happen to us, to the little Bahamas with little bit of resources? And so all of this we're going to discuss today. Because if we don't get this right, I'm sorry, there's no other way for me to say this. If we don't get this right, the Bahamas as we know it is going to be gone. I'm sorry who doesn't like what is being said. There are persons who say that we are xenophobic because we hold the opinion that people should come to our country the right way and that our country can't afford to take care of 15 million people from another country or 30 or 15 million people from another country or 3 million from another country surrounding us because that is our stance, that we can't afford it now. How do we know? Because we're not taking care of our own people. And charity starts at home. And so there's some people who feel that way. I'm sorry to tell you that we could care less how you feel. I know how Bahamians are feeling. Bahamians who are sleeping on the beaches. Bahamians who can't find food because they're calling every day for help. Bahamians are suffering. I care about how they feel. I don't care about your little feelings. You're in your ivory tower somewhere, not knowing how other people feel, and you just see that all of those people are below you, so it doesn't matter. Let all those other people in too. Because you're not experiencing what they're experiencing. You're not experiencing that their fight is going to be greater because you are flooding them with other people. You don't care about this country, but we do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get this right. Because if we don't get this right, that's it. And that's all. All right? And so I'm going to try to play some videos for you. I couldn't load them. I was trying to load them up and send them over. I may have to take this screen over and play them on this video, producer. But you got to see what I'm about to show you. It's important that you see what I'm about to show you because it's going to blow your mind about what's happening in the rest of the world. Now, I saw some commentary from all walks of life. I see the troll news media. What's that? Eyewitness News has their show on there after the news, beyond the headlines. I see that the PLPs, they have just taken full control of that show. Remember, that is the show of a candidate. That's the station owned by a candidate. I don't know how lawful that is, but we're going to test that because the radio station, the TV station is owned by a candidate for the PLP. And now all we're seeing is arguments for the PLP on that show. And I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that it is against the law in the Bahamas for news and commentary shows to be biased. I'm going to repeat that because many people don't know this. It is actually against the law, IRCA laws, for news shows and commentary shows to be biased in the Bahamas. And many Bahamians don't know that. And so, according to the law in the Bahamas, whenever a news or a current affairs show is going to talk about a topic, they have the responsibility to present it in a non-biased way. So they have to find someone from this point of view and someone from that point of view. If there's a third point of view, they have to find someone from that point of view also. Notice that when you watch CNN or Fox News, they tend to do that. They would even sometimes have people arguing. That's what the news is supposed to do. That's actually the law in this country. But they are refusing to follow the law. And guess what? We could test that. We could challenge that. We're going to write a letter this week to Eyewitness News because it's them that's showing this bias with this show beyond the headlines more than any. And we're going to send them a cease and desist order. And then we're going to sue them. Because what they are doing should not happen. Now, the government has sent something to some show already, but we are going to sue this show because of their biases. Well, first we're going to file a complaint to IRCA, but we're going to send them a cease and desist letter because if you are having persons on your show and you only have people, they all seem to be attacking the COI. But they would always talk about the COI on that show, but they would never bring someone from the COI on the show. They would talk about things that I have said and that we have discussed, but they would never call me for my view. and they would never bring me on the show to discuss it. I don't think it should be a problem if you want to discuss a topic that we brought up. For example, the asylum bill. You want to talk about the asylum bill and you disagree with things that I've been saying, then just bring me on the show. That's a good opportunity to test the theory, to make sure that what I'm saying is strong, that I can hold up to my points. You don't just have a host who's going to slander and mash up the topic and then have her bring guests on who are of the same opinion. That is actually against the law in the Bahamas. And we're going to put it in writing. And when we put it in writing, we're going to send it to you so that you understand what the law is, so that all of this nonsense stops, and it stops right away. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that the law, and that's IRCA laws, says that it must be unbiased. And we've already done the research, and we've already done got the legal opinions, et cetera, to show that that show is extremely biased. For example, this wasn't that show, but they, on that TV station, they did, on election day, they did news coverage. They brought on a female from the Fnm and a female from the BLP. And they did news coverage with those two females. No one from the COI. That's illegal. So when you're now bringing on persons who have run with or been a part of the PLP, like Leslie Miller, etc., persons who are outright saying that they are PLPs all over social media, like other persons on there, and then persons who have run for the Fnm, like what's the fellow's name, Turnquest, that's bias, and it's against the law in the country. All right. So I wanted you to understand that. Now, let me see. Anyway, I won't waste time reading it to you. We'll put the documents together and we'll send that out. But these shows cannot, we're heading into the election season, election is close, and we cannot let these people get away with what they've been getting away with. So I just wanted to put that forward to you. We're not going to play with them. This war we're going into. So wherever they attack, we can attack back. All right? And so just want you to understand that. But that show definitely is a political prostitute show. I saw the video clip by Dr. Miles Monroe, and those are some serious words. And it's biblical. I think he knows the Bible a little better than Brave does. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce that I'm pleased that Brave Davis has finally turned into a Christian. Brave saved now. Ladies and gentlemen, Brave is saved. My boy started misquoting scriptures and all, like a good Christian. He quoted the verse before the chapter. He said, Romans verse 4 and 13. Verse 4 and 13? Like, Brave, what you quoting? He don't even know how to quote the Bible. He said, Romans verse 4 and 13. I don't know how to read that, Brave. That scripture, I could just take your word for it. But when I read verse 4 of chapter 13 that you may have been talking about, it didn't say that. I read chapter 13 of verse 4, and it didn't say what you were saying. So I don't know what you're talking about, Brave. That was a very unsaved statement for you to make. All right? But I wanna just let you hear what Brave had to say, because I guess they were angry because I called him a Haitian prime minister. But that wasn't my words, that was his words. He said he's one of them. Now, what do you want me to say if the man, Maya Angelou said, if someone tells you who they are, believe them. And we're now seeing it. He told us he is one of them. He told us he's going to look out for them. He said he's always look out for them. And he always will. So if the man tells us that, what do you want me to say? That's what he is. And so, let's play that clip from Brave. That's the one called Christian Brave. Save Brave. Let's play that Christian Brave video. And here let's have some Bible study with Brave.
Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave. Bible study with Brave.
and I have a responsibility for all persons in our country, whether they be here illegally or legally.
Pause that.
But that responsibility does not dictate.
Did that man say illegally or legally? That didn't come out of his mouth, did it? Yes. Illegally or legally? Keep playing.
Of my responsibility to also ensure that if you're breaking the law, that consequences follows. Right? The fact that they called me Haitian Prime Minister, what should I say about that? Bahamian people know me, right? And I believe I preside over.
Hold on. Brave. Only two set of people call you Haitian Prime Minister. That's the Haitians and me. I call you that. Now, maybe now the other Bahamians will realize it and they'll wake up, but the Haitians feel like you're Haitian Prime Minister. And I call you that. It's the second time I call you that when having this protest. All right? And, well, that's true. You call yourself that. And so that's what it is. All right? Keep going. Play that video.
A Christian nation. I'm guided by those godly principles that.
He said that he presides over a Christian nation. Let me help you with something, Philip Brave Davis. You are not a king. Where do you think you are? You don't preside over this country. You don't preside. You are the prime minister. You're not even the highest office. The governor general is the highest office in this country, and the queen is the highest office total, even though that's a titular position. You don't preside over us. In a democracy, the people rule. You don't preside over us. Let's get that straight. All right? You are not a king. Let's keep going.
Tells me how I ought to treat people. The Bible also tells us how we ought to treat strangers in our midst. That's what I'm guided by. I don't think I'm departing from that. The Bible also indicates that you ought to subject yourself to the law of the land. And if you don't subject yourself to the law of the land, the consequences will follow. I think it's in Romans chapter 4, verse 13 and 4, that speaks to us being obliged to live up to the law of the land. And you ought not to fear authority, because the only time you fear authority if you're going against the laws of the land. I'm the Prime Minister of the Bahamas. I'm a Bahamian. As a Bahamian.
Ladies and gentlemen, please open up your Bibles to Romans chapter 4, verse 13 and 4. I don't know, 13 and 4. I don't know what that means. Yeah, well, he said Romans chapter 4. I guess he said means verse 13. Okay? Romans chapter 4. Let's Romans chapter 4, verse 13. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. Okay, Brave. You ain't never been to Bible study. Yeah, I don't know what Bible that is he reading, but that ain't the one. All right. Yes, we live in a Christian nation because most of us believe in Christianity, whether we see ourselves as saved or not. We live in a Christian nation. Here's the problem. God is a God of decency and in order. Coming to a country illegally is not decency or in order. It is out of order. And as the person who self-proclaimed presides over this country, you should not want anyone to come in this country out of order. That's a problem. And so we can fix that. I'm going to show you what's happening in Canada and what's happening in the UK. So just stay tuned. And you can see what Brave actions is going to lead to. In fact, this bill that Brave is now pushing, all of these international countries are now pulling back from because it's destroying their nations. But Brave is still pushing forward with it because it's going to benefit him and his people. And so I want to sit down now and dissect another video by Brave and what he has to say. All right? PM on the bill. That's the video that I'm going to play now. And then we're going to switch back and forth between some other videos. I may have to take this screen over. It's possible for us to play a video. Just go straight to YouTube on this. Yeah, okay. So we'll get it done. All right. So let's go PM on the bill.
The Prime Minister isn't letting up. He's doubling down on his message amid the controversy over the smuggling in migrants bill. He says the claims are false and the facts are laid out plainly in that bill. He has one message tonight. Read it for yourself.
Show me in the bill that supports what you're saying is in the bill. They cannot, because it's not there.
Prime Minister Philip Davis calling on Bahamians.
Ladies and gentlemen, he says, show him in the bill. Now, you'll remember the last time, I went live, I told you what their trick is. And lawyers like to play with words, and they like to play with people's understanding. It's simple as this. Everything that the bill covers is not literally written in the bill. And that's how the law is written. The law will refer to another law and make that law. And that's what they do. And so the law, if the law refers you to the convention or the protocol that Wayne Monroe always refers to, the protocol, if it refers to the protocol or the convention, then it doesn't have to write it in the bill. And so they're tricking you because you don't see it in the bill. You're saying that, oh, well, they didn't say that in the bill, but it's in the protocol. So you have to read both. And we're going to take you back to that today by the end of this. All right? Don't let them trick you by saying, oh, man, I read through the whole bill, and I don't see that in the bill. But the bill told you that it empowers the protocol. And the protocol now becomes law. It now domesticates the protocol. And this is the trick that they're playing on you. Oh, I read the bill, and I don't see what they're talking about with this and that and asylum, and I don't see where it talks about naturalization. And you have to read the protocol. You get it? And so what they're doing is tricking you. And these kinds of words right there is why you know you should not trust the government. Because they are playing with words to get you to go along with this nonsense. And they have their people out there pushing their agenda by tricking you. It's not just what's written in the bill, because the bill refers you to something else. All right? Some bills will say, this thing is whatever it is defined in this law over here. And so it won't write it in this law, but it'll point you to that law. And so it both go together. You have to go and reference it over there. Because in law, you write it the most efficient way. You don't, if something is covered somewhere else, you don't have to write it here again. You just point to wherever it is. That's how it works, all right? And so they're tricking you by telling you, show me it in the bill. It's right there, but it's in the protocol. We'll get to that. Keep playing it.
To not be distracted by what he calls false information being spewed by sides opposite on the recently passed smuggling and migrants bill, Both the Free National Movement and the Coalition of Independents have said the bill creates a pathway for asylum for migrants who are smuggled in country. However, the Prime Minister says to check his record on similar issues that he's fought against.
The United States proposed a declaration for the acceptance of migration by each of our countries, right? And most countries signed it. I did not sign it because I understand our peculiar circumstance in relation to migrant and illegal migrants coming into this country. I did not sign it.
He also continues to charge that the humanitarian rights outlined in the bill.
So he's talking about the Los Angeles protocol that persons signed on to. That was a ceremonial signing, just so you understand that. 20 nations signed on to it, but it was non-binding. It didn't matter if you signed or not. And guess what? None of those countries followed through with what they were supposed to. It was ceremonial. 20 countries signed, but it was non-binding. Do you understand what that means? Okay, let me do a little something for you. See you.
You're welcome. If you need any more info or have any
Check,
other questions.
1, 2. Okay, so the Summit of the Americas in 2022, 20 countries signed on to that agreement. Was that agreement binding?
Nope, it wasn't actually binding. The Los Angeles Declaration they signed at that summit was more of a political commitment rather than a legally enforceable treaty. Basically, it was a coordinated promise among those 20 countries to work together on migration issues, but not something that would have legal consequences if a country didn't follow through.
That's AI. So while he's trying to make you feel like these countries signed on and I told them no, I wasn't interested in this and that. Of all the countries that did sign it, ours was the only one that started opening our borders and started giving papers to all of these immigrants, and everyone gets a work permit, everyone gets a visa. Started giving out documentation like crazy, selling our passports like crazy. Ours was the only country that did that. And so while he did not ceremoniously sign, he actually did what none of them did. Not one of those countries started what has been happening here. So don't be fooled by that. They keep repeating that nonsense that, oh, he didn't sign. It didn't matter if you signed. That was a ceremonial thing. There was no legally binding commitment. That wasn't even a treaty. That was nothing. That was just saying, okay, we got together, we talked about immigration. Okay, we could do something about immigration. We could let these refugees pass through and this kind of stuff. And that was just a photo op. And guess what? Brave was in the photo. Now, the other countries that didn't agree to it, like Mexico and I think some other countries, they didn't come. There's countries that didn't come. And they did not take no photo. Only the 21 persons took the photo. That's the 20 and Brave. The other countries that didn't want to participate in it, they didn't. But I guess we couldn't miss a photo op. Now we're talking about the humanitarian part. Go ahead.
Have always been in place. As the COI alleges, it puts migrants over Bahamians. The Prime Minister says it does not.
If we arrest someone, if we detain someone, right, for illegal landing or being in this country illegally, where do we have to detain them? If we are detaining them, what we do? Should we allow them to hunger to death? If they're sick, we leave them to die in their state of illness. So what these humanitarian provisions have nothing to do with asylum. Have nothing to do with asylum.
He's also pushing back on claims that the bill was fast-tracked through Parliament.
Now, he said if you should allow them to hunger to death. I don't know what that means. But he said, should you allow them to hunger to death? They are mixing up two different scenarios here. One is just an illegal immigrant who comes, and another is those who claim asylum. The problem now is because of this bill, persons can now legally claim asylum. The Bahamas was doing asylum and issuing asylums without our knowledge up to this time and without any law in place that allows them to do so. They were just doing it. So if we couldn't expect you to act within the law before, how we expect you to act within the law now? So they're mixing up the regular persons who he just come, he's an illegal immigrant, you lock him up. Yeah, you put him in jail, you gotta feed him, if he's sick, you gotta care him in the hospital. That's one scenario. We are worried about the asylum part that you all keep running from in this conversation. An asylum person, you have to release from any captivity, and you have to take care of them. That's where we get. Now, I wasn't able to get all these videos into the system, all right? But I want to show you what asylum means. Don't let them think asylum is like when you arrest an immigrant or when you arrest a criminal. Asylum, you know what they do with them? They put them in hotels. Because, ain't enough housing for them. They put them in hotels. Some of them in 4-star hotels. Let me see how much of this I could show you all. Let me see what I have on here. I might have to go to YouTube to do some of this because this is important. I want you all to see what's going on. First of all, let's go to the video that says asylum. No, asylum. It just says asylum. Oh, you didn't get that one. Okay, UK asylum hotels. I just want you to see the one that says, yeah, UK asylum hotels. Go ahead.
Hey everyone. Today we're diving into a critical issue unfolding in the UK. Almost 42,000 asylum seekers are currently stuck in limbo, waiting for an appeal hearing after their initial claims were rejected by the Home Office. This staggering figure represents a 5-fold increase over the past 2 years. The Refugee Council argues that the government is merely shifting the crisis from one part of the system to another. Nearly 40,000 migrants are still being housed in hotels, a situation that seems far from optimal. The Home Office claims to have doubled the number of initial decisions and allocated more funding for additional court days, aiming to end the use of hotels and cut down the sky-high accommodation costs. But here's where it gets complicated. The Refugee Council blames recent legislation, particularly the Nationality and Borders Act, for making it harder to prove genuine refugee status. Take Afghans, for example. In the latter half of last year, only 40% of Afghan asylum seekers were allowed to stay, compared to almost universal acceptance before. Many rejected applicants are now appealing these decisions. Afghans also make up the largest group in hotels, and among those arriving by small boats over the past 2 years. Enver Solomon, the chief executive of the Refugee Council, is calling for better and fairer decision-making. He argues that making the right decisions the first time will ensure genuine refugees can find safety and contribute to the community, while those without valid claims are removed respectfully. But until these improvements happen,
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you just hear it instead of complicating and trying to play the whole video. You can go on YouTube and look at these up yourself. But I just want to let you hear some of what is being discussed in these countries, the UK, Canada, etc. Say again? Yeah, I'll have to search them. Yeah. So let me just play it so you can hear the audio. I think I'll start with this one. So you heard there that they are putting them up in hotels. The UK this year alone is going to spend 1.5 billion pounds. That's over $2 billion. Just on putting them in hotels and catering food to them. These people are in 4-star hotels, some of them. Canada spent $1.1 billion putting them in hotels. This is the part, Brave, that mean telling y'all. I'm so sorry, I wish I could get these links. I may try to get it up. Hold Let me just let you hear this one.
Here in the UK, the Home Office has been accused of wasting billions of pounds on hotels for asylum seekers over the last 6 years. This has sparked protests around the country, and now a report by MPs says that flawed contracts and incompetent delivery.
There we go.
Here in the UK, the Home Office has been accused of wasting billions of pounds on hotels for asylum seekers over the last 6 years. The scheme has sparked protests around the country, and now a report by MPs says that flawed contracts and incompetent delivery have left the department unable to cope with a surge in demand. Well, let's go straight to our chief political correspondent, Henry Zeffman, who's in Westminster for us. I mean, the use of hotels to house asylum seekers has been a very controversial one, hasn't it, Henry? And now this report, pretty damning about it. Tell us more about what it says.
Utterly damning, Regini, and in various different ways. So this report, which is by a cross-party committee of MPs, the Home Affairs Select Committee, it says that the contracts that the government signed with various outsourcers who provided these hotels were flawed from the start. But then it says that those flawed contracts were delivered by the government in an incompetent fashion, with the result, they say, that the government has failed to recoup tens of millions of pounds in excess profits, which under the terms of the contracts are owed to the government.
Footage posted on
and chaotic management of the contracts by the Home Office. And overall, they say that failures by the Home Office are a big reason that the estimated cost of 10-year asylum accommodation contracts has more than tripled from £4.5 billion of cost to the government to £15.3 billion.
And Henry, I mean, the report says that failures of leadership at a senior level meant that the Home Office was, I quote, incapable of getting a grip on the situation. I mean, this spans different political administrations, the Conservatives and, of course, Labour now in charge. Just tell us more about the politics now, because I'm sure both parties are blaming each other.
Yes, they are.
All right, so I think you get it, the point. I'm just going to say this. I want you to see the kind of accommodations they're giving these people. You can play that link that I sent you. That's a short, so you can play that one.
Line reportedly shows migrants staying in hotel rooms with four-poster beds and games consoles. The video is reported to have been filmed inside a hotel in West Sussex, housing hundreds of asylum seekers.
Perhaps what I found more surprising is the level of affluence of some of the residents themselves as well.
It shows meals served in canteens and appears to show music lessons being put on, as well as evidence of drugs and booze being consumed inside bedrooms. The video was uploaded to YouTube by Aston Knight, who told his followers he spent 3 months living in the 4-star hotel, filming the migrants who lived there.
The service users are all given a mobile phone with a Home Office app on when they arrive in the UK, along with an ID card. Each of the rooms has landline telephones as well, en suites, desk areas. They all have a little personal fridge in each of the bedroom, storage space for clothes, wardrobes, and the like, and living areas in most rooms.
So, what Brave and his crew is not telling you is that the asylum part of this, they're going to have to take care of these people. Canada spent so much money on this that they had to start changing their rules. It literally broke down their economy. The economy doesn't work right anymore because they started bringing in, they wanted to bring in skilled labor first. That looked good. And then they started bringing other people, especially from India, and it was a bunch of just regular laborers, and they couldn't find housing for them. And then they needed to build housing, and they started housing projects, and they didn't have enough labor to do the skilled labor to do the housing projects, so it caused a spiral. And it crashed the economy because the price of housing went so high. And if housing is high, everything else is high. And so that destroyed the economy. And the prime minister has now stepped down because he started these new asylum laws, and the asylums, I mean, they grew exponentially. I wish I could go and do some research, because I pulled together the videos, but we couldn't get it in the system in time. Hundreds of thousands a year. It jumped 100 and something thousand, 200,000, whatever. And they did not build new housing for all these people. And it destroyed not just the housing, the infrastructure, hospital rooms, education, everything else started to overflow. And it caused them to break. You may have a boat, and you may be very Christian. But at a certain point, that boat is going to be too full with people. And you have to make a decision. We going to let everyone on this boat die to let someone else in? At what point do you say, we can't take on anymore? Even Noah's Ark door had to close at some point. It's nothing to do with Christianity. Some of it has to do with common sense. Everyone has their own boat. You have your boat. You can't mash up your boat and then make me feel obligated to bring you in mine. Now, if I have enough space, I have enough room, everything is good, then I can help you. But if I don't, I'm not a bad person. Because you destroyed your boat. You weren't out there without a boat. You had yours. Now you're coming to destroy mine. All right? Yes, and causing Bahamians to suffer. And so I wanted you to see these things. Canada was destroyed over it. Now England is being destroyed. The empire. And England, well, Canada, the federal government in Canada has federal government, provincial government, which is like a state, and then municipal government. And so the prime minister only has a certain amount of powers. And this is what we're trying to do with the Bahamas. We're trying to change it so that there's central government, like federal government, state government, like their provincial, and then municipal government, city government, so that you take the power away from the politician. And so Trudeau was using federal money in order to fund these housing for these immigrants, giving them hotels, all right? And so now he stopped it after spending $1.1 billion. And now, guess what? The provincial and municipal is going to be responsible for making sure those people are safe. So now they're going to have to spend their budget. Because remember, on the island states and city government, when we bring it, you have your own budget. Every city, the people have their own budget to do what they want to do. But now he's telling them, no, take that out of your budget. Federal ain't paying for that no more. Even though federal made this mistake and we're pushing it on y'all, take it. All right? And that's what's now happening in Canada. In England, they're changing their rules, changing their laws. All around the world, they're trying to get rid of these asylum laws to save their country. England is breaking under the pressure. They are spending billions of dollars. And they were spending billions when they were talking about processing about 7,500 a year. Now they're up to 42,000 is the backlog that they have now. So our government is saying they send back home 13,000. The UK government was spending billions when they were dealing with 7,500. They were spending big money, hundreds of millions, billions, whatever. So how are we going to handle that? Now the fella's going to come here and only one English word he need to know. Asylum. Or a French word. Non refoulement. That's only two words he need to know. And Bahamians have to pay. Don't let them fool you. That's reality. Now I want to go to the bill itself. I want to go to that bill. So if you could pull that up for them to see on the screen. Well, before we go there, I want to show you. I didn't talk, but the PLP. Now let's talk with the Fnm. All right, because all of a sudden they jump on this bill, like like they were so against this, and it's like it's them fighting this, and I don't want my Bahamian people to be fooled. I had someone when I put out this notice for this live, and you know, I said that the PLP passed the Fnm bill. They said, but how you can say this is the Fnm bill, and the Fnm spoke out against it. They did a protest against it. I said, you see how easily we are to fool? You see how easy that is? The Fnm said, oh, VAT could be bad for the people. When we get in, we're going to repeal that. When they got in, they increased it. Almost double. Stop listening to what politicians say and watch what they do. When this bill was tabled in October, they said nothing. Not a word. When Aram sent me the bill, as he does every week, he would send me the bill that they're going to table in the House so that we could contribute to it. When he sent me that bill and I went and looked at that bill, I said, oh, hell no. There's no way that this bill can go through. And I called him and I said, listen, no, we got to oppose this. The Fnm, when we went out there and protested, they was right there. Did they come down with us and stand with us? Not a one of them. They had no interest. Did they say anything in the House? No. The next day? No. The day after that? No. The day after that? No. Almost a week later, we had a live right here on that Sunday, and we spoke to the bill and we showed how diabolical it was. All of a sudden, that night after our live, 10 o'clock in the night, the Fnm said they having protests. 6 people came, other than the leadership, which total probably about 15 people or so. All right? Which means they had no interest in that. Their advisors told them, listen, just jump on the bandwagon. No one can remember the timeline. They just can remember that you all were speaking out against it. So throw that picture up for them. That's actually I wish I could have shared my screen with y'all, but this is from the United Nations Treaty Collection. The government don't show you the treaties they signed, but guess what? The treaty is, the UN has them. And the UN has documents. Every document I've been releasing you over the years, you cannot get in the Bahamas. You got to get that overseas. And so right here is the UN Treaty Collection. It actually talks about this convention, the convention relating to the status of refugees. Yes. I actually sent you a picture of it. I just screenshot it so you can see it. Oh, I wasn't talking about the PDF. I talking about the picture. Look at the picture I sent. We get back to the PDF in a second. On this PDF, it shows when the Bahamas signed on to it. All right? Because I heard the PLP and SA and the Fnm signed on in 2001, and it was calling numbers 2008, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I like to get the real facts. The Bahamas signed on September 15th, 1993. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the document on the screen yet, but this is right here from the UN itself. The Bahamas signed on to this in 1993. Okay, yeah, that's it, and it's highlighted on the bottom in the yellow. 15th of September, 1993 is when they signed on to this, okay, and became a signatory. All right, so that's actual documentation from the UN, all right? And that was the Fnm government. One of the first things they did. The Fnm did that. They did more in 2021, more in 2028. Then in 2018, they actually did the bill. And this was an Fnm thing. When the PLP got in, they would always ignore this. Then when the Fnm get in, they will push it forward a little bit more, like how you boil a frog. Just ease it, ease it, ease it, till it's too late. Tell you, man, so much of these people here, man, we got to do something. And then we stuck. So I just wanted you to see that that's them. So let's go to the smuggler's bill. Let's go to that smuggler's bill so the Bahamians can see it. The smuggler's bill. Let me pull it up while you're doing that. The smuggler's bill. And I'll tell you where to go in there. Okay, so we're going to go to the smuggler's law first. All right. Okay, so you're going to go to the interpretations. Let me tell you what page it is. Go to page 4, if you could see the pages. Yeah, go right to page 4. And you're going to see where it defines non-refoulement. It's spelled non-refoulement, because that's not how you pronounce it. All right, non-refoulement. Okay, perfect. Can we spread that out some? Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go. And so I just want them to be able to see it while we're reading it. It's class in session today. It says the non-refoulement means the prohibition against returning a migrant to countries where the migrant's life or freedom would be threatened on account of race, religion, nationality, membership, particular social group, political opinion, in accordance with the 1957 Convention relating to status of refugees. So it must be in accordance with the 1957 Convention. So by them quoting this convention, it empowers, this is one of the ways it empowers that convention. I want you to understand that. It's very important that you understand what they are doing here. All right? So they point to the convention, and then you will see not only do they point there, I want us to go straight down to section 3. Go to section 3 of this. Where are we? Section 3. This is the section that empowers the bill. This is where the bill has its strength. This is how the bill must be applied. This is the application of the law. All right? This is the application of the law. This is what this bill is about. Okay? So, yeah, section 3, application of the act. Now, application of the act. This is the act. This act will be interpreted and applied in a way that A, is non-discriminatory and upholds the protections and fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual under the Constitution of the Bahamas. All right? Okay. B, is consistent with the principles of non-refoulement. This is about non-refoulement. The act will be interpreted and applied in a way that is consistent with the principles of non-refoulement. Where does that principle come from? It comes from the protocol that they pointed to. They said 1957, and hopefully they've already modified it before it went to the Senate, because it's 1951. But that's where it gets its power from. And they're telling you that this is not an asylum bill. They never mentioned asylum. But of course, I showed you last time that all throughout this bill, the word asylum is present. All right, all throughout this bill. Well, not all throughout it. 4 times to be exact. If you count the words non-refoulement, you'll get more instances that you see this bill there. So I just want you to pay close attention. All right. And so there's certain sections of this, because I have to go between the producer, I won't go straight to all the asylum parts. So now that you see where it points, and there's other areas where it points to the convention. But what this does is empower the protocol or the convention. So now we have to go to the protocol or convention to understand the law and what we're really getting. So everything is not written here. It just tells you that our laws have to be consistent with that law. And because now it has to be consistent with that, that empowers that and tells you that whatever is law in there is law for the Bahamas locally. All right? And so let's go to that. You can pull that up. That's the 51 convention. Let's pull that up and let's see some of the diabolical things that we're going to have to deal with. All right? Convention and protocol relating to the status of refugees. All right? And so, introduction, yes, that's it. All right, so this convention and protocol tells you what the rules are, what the law is that we're about to be accepting. And if you go and read through this is on the front page of our website. If you go on your phone, it won't let you scroll right there, but you have to click on it to download it. So if you go on our website, right on the front page, you will see this, you'll see the smuggler's bill, the asylum bill. And then right after that, you will see this protocol, the full thing. And so if you're doing it on a computer, you'll be able to browse it right there in the PDF. But if you're not, if you're on a phone, it'll just tell you your browser can't handle this, so just click to download it, and you just download it, okay? So I want you to see that. Now, I'm going to start from about page 20 in this. Yeah, is it 20? Let me go down, 17. Yeah. All right, Article 17, that's page 24. So these are the things that come under the protocol that they don't actually listen to the bill because they want to hide that from you. That's how they work. And so the first thing that you'll see, wage earning employment. This is stuff that they have a right to. All of these things is what they will now have a right to because we signed on to it. Gainful employment, wage earning employment. So we have to let these people work and do whatever they want in our country. I went over this before, but I wanted you to see this again because you got to know what's coming. All right? Self-employment, that's the next thing. So you got to let them be able to work and do whatever they want. Now, 18 says self-employment. All right? They got to be allowed to self-employ themselves, do business, etc. Liberal professions, all right? Each contracting state shall accord to refugees lawful staying in their territory who hold diplomas recognized by the competent authorities of that state and who are desirous of practicing liberal profession treatment as favorable as possible, treatment as favorable as possible. In any event, as favorable as committed to any aliens in the country. All right? Let's keep going. Welfare. Now, remember, this was a wartime treaty, so rationing is there. So whenever rations have to be done, you got to make sure that these refugees or these asylum seekers, that they have rations. Housing. They have to be given housing. It says it right there. So what those countries were doing, getting hotel rooms. You can imagine, we so full, 13,000 of them come one time. Imagine that, which could happen. And they got to put them up in Atlantis and South Ocean, not South Ocean, Ocean Club, because all that hotels full. They have them in Bahama. They got to put them on the buffet line, because that's what they doing in Canada and England. They got to buffet them. That's what would happen. And guess what? The law would restrict us from sending them back. And guess what? Braden would say, well, if I send them back, I go in the International Criminal Court. So I can't send them back. Now, when they say they are forced to do certain things, I want you to remember this. A treaty is only an agreement as long as you want to be a part of it. You can remove yourself from any treaty. England removed itself from the European Union. All right? Any treaty you can remove yourself from. Trump has removed himself from several UN conventions. A treaty is just a voluntary agreement. For as long as you want to be a part of it, it is non-binding. All right? So yes, they're deliberately doing it because they want to do it, but they want to make you feel like there's some boogeyman forcing them to do it. Oh, to be compliant with international law. Has nothing to do with international law. It's a treaty. It's a convention that you can sign into or not sign on to. Okay? And so let's keep going. Article 22, public education. You have to give them public education. 23, public relief. The contracting state shall accord the refugees lawfully staying there in their territory the same treatment with respect to public relief and assistance as is accorded to their nationals. Brave said, show him it in the bill, because he don't want you to go to the protocol. You see? This is the protocol. This is the international law they keep referring to. All right? It's right there. Article 24, labor, legislation, and social security. All right? So that means they have all rights, social security, everything that you have. The labor laws with time off and everything else, they have rights to everything that you have rights to. All right? Administrative assistance, they got to be given administrative assistance, even free legal aid, all this stuff. Freedom of movement, you got to give them documents so they could travel. You have to give them travel documents so that they could travel, they could get visas, etc. Identity papers, you have to give them identity papers. In England, you walk out of there with your identity papers and you get to go to the hotel. All right? Travel documents, that's Article 28. Fiscal charges, they talk about how you can't, well, you can read it for yourself. Transfer of assets, they can be able to transfer their assets and do whatever they need to do. Even refugees unlawfully in the country have certain rights. Expulsion. The contracting stage, this 2032, the contracting stage shall not expel a refugee lawfully in their territory, save on grounds of national security and public order. So you cannot expel the refugee or the person who claims asylum. The expulsion of such a refugee shall be only in pursuance of a decision reached in accordance with the due process of law, except where compelling reasons of national security otherwise require the refugee shall be allowed to submit evidence to clear himself and appeal, etc., etc. So they have to be allowed to appeal. These things can take years. In England, they just said, these people who they're trying to do now, their process is going to take 20 years based on the backlog that they have. Now, they complain about this backlog of 42,000. Branson, they talk about a backlog of 500 to 600,000. Now, they talking about a backlog of 42,000, and they saying that could take 20 years. That's England. All right? So, anyway, all right, so that's their rights. Number 33, prohibition of expulsion or return. That's non-refoulement. No contracting state shall expel or return a refugee in any manner whatsoever to the frontiers or territories where his life or freedom would be threatened on account of his race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. The benefit of the present provision may not, however, be claimed by a refugee where there is reasonable grounds for regarding as any danger to the security of the country where he is, etc. All right, the last one I want to show you, but I'm going to get back to that one there. Let me deal with that now. There's gang wars going on in Haiti, gang in the government. The gangs were putting people out of their houses, raping people, etc., etc. Doing all manner of things. They were kidnapping people. And so if any of the persons who come from there say that the gang was threatening their life, that's asylum. And you can't carry them back to that country. All right? You can't send them back to that country because the gang was threatening their life. Now, a regular illegal immigrant who comes here, you can deport them back to their country. But someone who is whose life is in danger, all of them are going to say, the gang was trying to kidnap me. And then that's it. They got a good excuse. Send one text message, say that was from the gang, and they got evidence. No contracting state, meaning the Bahamas, shall expel or return a refugee in any manner whatsoever to frontiers or territories where his life or freedom. I've already read that. Number 2, the benefit of the present provision may not, however, be claimed by a refugee. Okay, I already read that. That's the non-refoulement part of it. And then you saw the non-expulsion part. So you cannot send them back home. All right? Sorry, I was on 33 just now. You cannot send them back to their country. So if Port-au-Prince is having an issue and that person is from Port-au-Prince, that's where they lived, and they could be kidnapped, you can't send them to Cape Haitian and say, oh, well, it ain't dangerous in Cape Haitian. No, but the gangs can get him in Cape Haitian. So you can't send him back to his country. Don't let them trick you. When there was turmoil in Port-au-Prince and they were deporting people to Cape Haitian because the gangs have control of the airports in Port-au-Prince, that's a different story. That's just sending someone back who's an illegal immigrant. That's a different scenario. They keep mixing up the two than someone who claims asylum. Someone who claims asylum, you can't carry him back to the country where his life is threatened. All right? So don't let them trick you with that. And lastly, Article 34. I want you to look at this good. Put that good and big on the screen for them. Put that nice and big, yes. This, the protocol. This is what it says. The contracting states shall, as far as possible, facilitate the assimilation and naturalization of refugees. They say my words. No, they ain't put it in the bill, but they let the bill point to this. And the bill empowers this. I can read that again. The contracting states shall, as far as possible, facilitate the assimilation and naturalization of refugees. Y'all seeing that with your own eyes? They shall, in particular, make every effort to expedite naturalization proceedings and to reduce as far as possible the charges and costs of such proceedings. So they ain't got to pay that big money they used to charge. They got to pay that. All right? This is the law that they just put in place. They try to deny you, oh, there's no pathway to naturalization. What does it say? This is as clear as day. So I wanted Bahamians to see this, and I don't want you to fall for the tricks of the Fnm. They were giving out asylums against the law. Them. They were going to bring this bill. Pintard knew that, and he said that. This is their bill. So don't make it seem like, don't fall for their tricks. Like they are not, like they are against this all of a sudden because they see the people rising up against it because we exposed it. Don't fall for that. This is the Fnm's bill that they was bringing forward. The PLP was originally against this, even though they didn't say nothing, they just left it. Y'all wake up. The PLP was the one rounding up these illegal immigrants. Don't forget Fred Mitchell them. Don't forget what was going on. Don't forget Fred Smith was originally fighting against them. Louis Georges was big Fnm at the time. Working with big Fnm Fred Smith, who funded the Fnm. Y'all don't forget. Don't let the politicians trick you. Now, I just read it to you. Brave them don't read nothing, They just tell you what the law say, what they say the law say. I just read it to you. I just showed it to you. So he said, show him it in the bill. I ain't showing you in the bill. I showed you in the law. Because you all just enacted this protocol. Well, about to. So I'm going to leave that there for now. And I'm going to open up the phone lines and open up for questions in here to all of the people online right now and the people here. Let's talk about this. Lil Lincoln decided to do that's Michael Pintard, decided to do what did he call it? Panel, a town hall, something at the Fnm. That was a waste of time. That's a couple hours I could never get back. But it was futile. You had people from the administration who was in the cabinet. Dwayne Sanders was in the cabinet. Pintard was in the cabinet. I don't know, did they let the MC was Henfield. He was in the cabinet, and all of them were fighting for this bill. All of them were bringing this bill forward. And now they're trying to pretend that the bill is not okay. In fact, that bill is egregious. That bill opened the floodgates even more than this PLP bill. That bill opened it up to whoever wanted to come in. All you had to do was say the magic word. That was an asylum bill, just pure asylum. The PLP trying to hide asylum with the smuggling thing. That was a pure asylum bill. Don't let them fool you. If the Fnm or the PLP gets in, they're going to open the floodgates. See, the wealthy people in the Fnm feel like either they have more customers by bringing more people to the country for whatever business they do, their food stores, their building supplies, whatever it is, they feel that's more customers when you bring more people in and more workers. That's what they feel. So they don't mind this. They ain't worrying about you because they can live behind the gates. You got to go live with whoever they bring in. They don't have to worry about the hospital. The hospital flooded. You know where they go to the hospital? On the plane. That's where they get their hospital. All right? They leave the country. Even their checkups, they leave the country. So they ain't worrying about you because they live in a different world from you. Their children don't have to go to them public schools, so they're not going to flood with these illegal immigrants. So they ain't worrying about you. That's the Fnm and the PLP, but especially the Fnm. So if you let them trick you to make you think that they care about you, you have some serious pain to do. Okay, the phone already started ringing, but the phone lines is 803-5995. Someone put it in the chat wherever you are. Put it in the chat, 803-5995. The usual number, 803-5995 is the number. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live.
Well, good evening, Mr. Bain.
Good evening.
I'm glad we finally got somebody that wants to lead the country and break down all of the laws to where everybody can understand it. See, the bill was the bill, but the bill in conjunction with all the other treaties has a different meaning, doesn't it?
Yes.
And so they didn't teach the people that. And I'm glad you're breaking it down finally tonight. Anybody watching this tonight and not understanding and voting for The same two people, because you're right, this is called a smuggling bill. But the last administration called it what it was, the asylum bill.
Mm-hmm.
And that, we stopped it. We put a stop to that. But it's tiring when you have to have people like yourself and others always constantly having to put a stop to people that you vote for to help you. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping the people's eyes are opening, and I would encourage everybody watching to share it, because this definitely is the last. Can you imagine? I was talking to two people from Canada on Bay Street, and they can say for whatever reason Canada's not treating them the way they want to be treated, and they can apply for asylum. So what will the Bahamas look like? And you're 100% correct with the rich people thinking if we put 10 million people here, they will be able to sell more hamburger and more things. But what they don't care about is what you just said. The repercussions of having 3 million, 10 million people somewhere that they can't eat, or they're eating mud cookie. We don't want mud cookie. We want Hellman's, Heinz, and real products, because we were rich people and we're used to being rich, and now they want to impoverish us. Sad. I never thought it could happen, but we now just built a lovely place around a boat on Bay Street. What will that do for the Bahamians? But that's digressing. We'll talk about that, I guess, in the new year when that kicks off and we see all the benefits of that. But I just wanted to thank you for breaking it down tonight, and I let some other people call, because this is when you can have Fnm, PLP, anyone can call. We've never had any politician do what you do, open up the mic and yourself to scrutiny. So let them call and ask any question. But this right here, I'm so sad we didn't see Bay Street flooded. Have a good one.
Thank you, man. Good evening, you're live.
Good day. And I just wanted to say that
turn down your other device.
Yeah. Okay. I just was saying that I was watching from Florida, and we are very, very pleased with the way you have broken down that law for us. Our children are there. We are on work detail here in Florida. We'll be back in the country within the week. However, what has been articulated by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Fred Mitchell, is very troubling. Fred Mitchell stated on the Parliament floor that they have gotten over $120 million, I think, from work permits and things of that nature over the last year. And that migration is a relatively human thing. And people migrate all the time. They just want to make it where it's legally done, wherever someone might migrate. However, this is to the detriment of all of us as Bahamian citizens. Because when you allow such empathy to wayfarers in your country, it kinds of like absorb the jobs that even your young people that are coming out of high school now, and they're coming out by the thousands every year, they are not going to have a job that they can immediately adapt to, simply because you have now foreigners who have come from countries that has really pushed education in their district, because basically that was all they had to rely on. And they are coming with a lot of ambition. So the Bahamian citizens, the young people in the junior schools, senior schools, who are being denied the proper education simply because the classes are very much saturated with another speaking language. There's turmoils in the classes. There's no education going on. There's only placement going on. And we want to say that this bill is a detriment to all taxpayers of the Bahamas. You would fit the bill. And you wouldn't begin to feel it until everything goes into session and you see the plane loads coming and the boats them and different strangers all over your streets, and the place looking totally different like it looking today. So we just want to encourage you to continue to make accountable this government, continue to disseminate the information that is very important to all of us who are citizens of the country.
Thank you,
it's
man.
not a red or a yellow thing. It's a Bahamian thing.
Yeah.
We have a homeland to save for our children and generations to come. Thank you,
man.
Mr. Bain.
All right. God bless. Call the whole line 1 sec. You're next. Ladies and gentlemen, he made mention of a statement by Fred Mitchell. It was a very important statement. Go and look for that video, that interview that he did. He said, we make $150 million from immigrants because they have to build this country. I want you to pay attention to that statement. Build. Over the last 4 years, so I guess you can do 150 million times 4. That gets you to what, $600 million? So that's some big money. But on top of that, in the last 4 years, what has been built that you need $150 million worth of these work permits? What is being built? I don't see the roads and skyscrapers and, not Dubai. I don't see the growth. What are you building? What's happening? That's a sham. They say we need these people to build. What building is going on? Okay, I saw Atlantis. Okay, I saw that many years ago. I can say, okay, some building happened there. Okay, I saw Bahama. All right. What's this 150 million that you need every year that he said to build the country? I don't agree with him. Y'all are being shammed. Let's go to the phone lines. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Bain. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening.
I'd like to address this question to our government. I would like to know, what is their modus operandi? God forbid an epidemic should break out in our nation. When we all see the condition of our hospitals and our medical field, have they taken that into consideration? Because these are people that's coming in from all over the world, and we don't know what they're bringing to our country.
Yeah.
That's something that that the government need to seriously consider. Because now they're really putting us at risk, and not to mention our children.
Yeah.
Thank
you for your call. I appreciate that. They're not considering that our healthcare system is already broken. A man was in the dialysis center this weekend, and they have a scale. You have to walk up onto the scale. They have a lot of elderly people, but what happens in the center is that they would send you to the scale in the next room. They'll send you the scale. You go to the scale, and you come back, and you told them what the scale said. You tell them what it said. I don't think it's supposed to work like that. But in any event, there's an elderly man. He stepped up on the scale, and when he was trying to step back down, he lost his footing and broke his hip. And a part of this is because we're understaffed. All right? We're understaffed badly at the PMH. A lot of people left and went to live in other countries. Nurses. And I can't blame them because of the working conditions and the pay, et cetera, but we got to fix this. And if people vote for this again, if they vote for the Fnm who failed us under the last administration or vote for the PLP, you don't deserve to have nothing. You deserve what you've been getting because you're voting for more of that. Someone asked a question, how many children does Fred Mitchell have? I guess they're saying you don't have no one to leave this country for us, we don't care. Well, Fred Mitchell doesn't have any children, but he has a lot of boys he's taking care of to the tune of millions of dollars. All right? I guess they're his adopted boys. And he's taking good care of them. So if that's the case, Fred is a good father. Hmm. 803-5995 is the number, 803-5995. If you have any questions about this, comments, what you want the government to hear you to say, they're watching. All of them are watching right now. You can be guaranteed that the FNM and BLB sit down watching our stuff, and they just respond to everything that we're doing. So if you want them to hear you, this is your chance to let them hear you. We're talking about the asylum bill today. Next week, that's the last live. Let me say it's for the year. Every year they say this is my last live, and they just go into a panic. Oh, he ain't doing no lives no more. It's just the last live for the season, okay? So this time I'll say it correctly. Next week is the last live for the year, and we're going to be having our Cyber Santa. We're going to be having some giveaways and that kind of stuff, all right? So you're free to join us online or here, whatever you want to do. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Mr. Dan, man, it's so good to hear you sitting down and explaining to the sensible Bahamian people and educating them and informing them of this bill, asylum bill. But I think the people are getting it. I think they're getting it. And I believe they will vote against the PLP and the FNM. But let me just clear up a statement that about Celebrate Davis trying to clear up, talking, quoting Romans chapter 13. For 1 through 4, Celebrate Davis, I hope you're tuning in. What is Romans chapter 13, 1 through 4 talking about? It's talking about you sitting in the seat of authority that the people put you there by the people's power, their vote. And what Romans 13, 1 is saying, 1 through 4 is saying, that you Celebrate Davis and all persons who sit in the seat of authority with the people power, you were placed there to do that which is right for the Bahamian people. Celebrate Davis, you were given a sword as a minister, a civic ruler, to rule this country in righteousness. And you were given a sword to execute the sword only on those who do evil. But when the person who God has given the sword, sitting in the seat of authority to execute the sword on them that do evil, and the person with the sword is the evil one, and saying to you, Mr. Davis, who declare that you're a part of the community as a Haitian, that sword will be executed on you by the people, the power of the people with their vote, or executed on you by God. So I just want to get that straight so you will understand it's not misquoting. You were set there in that office not for persons who do good, but what Mr. Lincoln being the leader of the coalition, the only political leader who has opened the eyes and continue to open the eyes of the Bahamian people in this Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Philip Brave Davis. This bill is so dangerous. You have to be rich to sit in Parliament, and also those persons sat in there, the FNM and the PLP, who sat and voted for this bill. Something is seriously wrong with you all. And I say this, and I close with this. Celebrate Davis. You were given a sword only to execute the sword on them that do evil. Not what Mr. Bean is doing. He's doing good. You're supposed to support what Mr. Bean and every other organic seed Bahamian is doing when they're doing good. What Mr. Bean is doing right now, he's doing good to the Bahamian people by opening their eyes to this evil, sinful, wicked, dangerous bill. And that lady who called, she raised a very important point. This is so dangerous. When those persons begin to come to flood into this country, our health system, the disease that will come to this country, it can wipe us out. And as you have said, Mr. Dane, they would not be here. They'll get on a plane and they'll fly themselves out. Bahamian people, this is the last opportunity. The only way, and we can do it, you must vote COI for change. To put this bill to death. God bless the Commonwealth and the common sense people of this Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you, my brother. All right. So he was referencing to the Philip Grave Davis Bible study that that he was trying to have on the Bahamian people. But I know one thing. The Bible says when the wicked rule, the people mourn. And our leaders should not be trying to pass laws that benefit the criminal. They should not be taking bribes from number men and drug dealers, etc. They should not be giving, hold the line call, I'll get to you right now. They should not be giving out contracts to drug dealers and money launderers. No number man should be able to buy the government to change the law on their behalf. You can't make wrong right by getting paid off to do so. And so right is right and wrong is wrong. As simple as that. Let's go to phone lines. You live, go ahead.
What up, Lincoln?
Right there, man.
Everything cool?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Let's just put it out there. You know what I mean? Let's just put it out there and be real with everybody who listen. First of all, let's drop facts. How much Bahamians in Haiti? Because I dealing with a troll who trolling you. How much Bahamians right now in Haiti? Because I don't see no Bahamians over there causing no trouble. Right? No. And they can't count no Bahamians over there. So why everything we have to solve? Because we don't have no Bahamians over there. We have Haitians over here and they like to talk this bull crap about we is one and God that. Listen, every God give everybody their nations. That's why you speak. We could identify plenty of people, but how they speak. You correct? You agree with that?
Yeah, but let me yeah, you're right. They say we won, right? But if you have a friend, they could borrow your car, but you can't borrow their car. Y'all is one? Hold on. If you have a friend who they could come to your house, but you can't come to their house, y'all is one? The laws in Haiti prevent us from owning any land in their country, from running for any government office. It protects them. Now, any of them who say we is one, I want them to try to land in Haiti without going through immigration.
And yes,
I dare them, hold on, I dare them to try and see where they end up. In fact, I want them to land on a plane legally and don't fill out their form, their immigration form properly and see where they end up. You cannot say that we have to be slack while they could eat ours, but we can't eat theirs.
And
we ain't one if your laws prevent me from benefiting from your country, but you won't come benefit from mine. Go ahead, caller.
And that's what I say, and you have to show. Do you know, no matter where, and I calling it, I don't care who get mad, who mad, stay mad. Do you know, no matter what country they go in, these people is troublesome, boy? Because they have in their head, the first thing they drop is these little anchor babies. No matter where they go, there's trouble and people trying to put them in. And I could give an illustration and they like to go back to their history, but there's the first. We don't care if y'all was the first or the first of the first would fight off the French. Because people ain't understand this. Look at it and read. The French came back, didn't they?
Yes.
That's why the French came back. Plenty people only talk about a little piece of the history, but there's the first one. But they was paying French, the French them reppers, they had to pay the French for the people they killed.
Let me explain something with that. All right. A lot of people don't realize that. They just keep the one part of the story and say they fought the French people who was there overseeing them. They didn't fight Napoleon and his army. Napoleon was busy fighting other wars around the world. They fought the overseers who was there, and it took them 13 years, and they eventually overcame them. When the French decided to focus on that, because they was fighting their European wars, when they decided to focus on that, they just sent a message, They say, listen, we coming to take you all back, eh? But we could avoid that. We don't want all that trouble of having to run plantations and keep the slaves and all that. Just pay us for what we lost. Pay us for the land that we lost, and we good. And that's what they said to them. And the liberators wanted to keep fighting. All right? The people were afraid, and they said, no, boy, let's just pay off this money. And they killed their liberator because he didn't want to go along with what they were saying. All right? They killed the man who said, let's keep fighting. Tell him come. All right? Hold on. And they went into a worse kind of slavery. Worse kind of slavery.
But see, I getting back to our country because we fighting for people. And here's the thing. And they share land with the Dominican people.
Yeah.
Okay, what they doing to them? They came through here to go to the United States. What America doing to them? But we opening up a door to accept these people. And here's what troubled me. You have Louis George speaking on my behalf about he dissimulating the bill. And every little opportunity he get, he throw little jobs at you. You know what I mean? Vehemence. But we can fight back. We can fight back. And here's the thing. What bothered me with Louis George and Frankie LaFleur and things like that, if they ain't vehemence, they can't renounce. Why they have the biggest microphone? Why nobody can go to court and have them exiled from the Bahamas? We could do that, but we just don't do it because, you know, their behavior is because they know vehemence don't do it. Here's the thing. They put a mic in the front of Philip Brave Davis. They throw a mic in the front of him and say, oh, the people say you're in vehement. He could be like, oh, the people know who. I don't know who you is. You know, when you, and like how you sitting down, you could say, my family from here, my family from here, and my family from here. He ain't saying nothing like that. All he come and tell me, oh, I see you in the front of the Haitian village talking a bunch of BS. And then Cassius Stewart. You see how he taking a little punch at you? He drop a line saying the beans ain't from here and stuff like that. I think you need to have a one-on-one to clarify him, you know, because he looked like a little bit of soldier on the side there.
I don't need to clarify anything that he has to say. I'll just say this: there are no Baines in Haiti. Bain is not a French name; that's a Scottish name. It's very Scottish, and it actually means white. So it came from a nickname meaning whitey. Like when someone is very light skinned, it means white. So that's what Bain means. All right.
We have to pay attention to the news. Yeah, man, we pay. Lincoln, you don't have to explain yourself.
I know all of my ancestry.
And watch this. Beyond the headlines, do you know you don't have no other representation other than that side, the PLP, right?
Oh, we will fix that this week.
No, but the thing is, here's what I'm saying. Why do I have to sit here to listen? Tell me if you use a news show or use an opinion show. Because you notice anything, especially Shanique, no matter what you say about Bahamians, and she say, hold on, listen, because Bahamians don't want to do this and do that and do that. She lie on Freeport talking about Freeport, them doing well and this and that. It's a lie. You catch what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And we getting fed because if I sitting down, right, if they throwing everything, they building up a block against you. When you turn on the TV, you got Sabah. Sabah would own a radio, a TV station, radio filtered like that. He basically buying out a community. That's what he doing. You understand what I'm trying to say? We vote against him, but they still put him there. So I looking at this bill now. You ain't come and talk to me. Even if I don't understand, you have a bunch of confusion, but then you have everybody inside the house sit down and watch that bill going through to annex me, and then you want me to act civilized? You want a soldier on the street to sit back and act civilized when you doing stupidness. You might be dead and gone a couple of years from here, but then no, man. And then you rise up. I don't care how militant you are. What was Malcolm X? What was Martin Luther King? These people, they had to go into extreme to get where they had to get. But here's the one thing what I say with Bahamian people. They might say we is passive people. They might say this and they might say that. One or two things and they might be right. Because guess what? When you see somebody threatening you, you can't stand there and let them stab you to death. I ain't talking about no disappointment, and I ain't talking about no hurt. Payments, you're killing off yourself because guess what? That's square. It's madness what these politicians doing to us because they know how you're gonna and then sit back every 5 years talking fool, but you can vote them out. But here's the thing: all two of them have the same agenda. If you put one side with lopsided inside a house, right, and they have to pass a bill because they got the majority, and that bill can pass. Lincoln, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Because you ain't balance it out where somebody could say, no, I oppose in this because you given one party so much vote. So it's like if you put, let's just say, if you should have a fair balance, people inside the house. What you doing, the caller before, any politician ever do what you doing? But yet, the humans, them, they acting like they deaf and blind to what it is you doing. Nobody never open up themselves. And why are we such believers in politicians? David say what he had to say. Fred Mitchell say what he had to say. Pintard say what he had to say. Because both sides write the bill, like what you say. They push it. But Bahamian people still playing this politics and talking fool. But all this money, what is this they got to accuse you about, my brother? You never was in power. But then you showing the powerless power. And I don't understand why people so going against that. These little party favors and party crazy people. I can leave you on this, man. It ain't about keeping your head up. It ain't about edifying. Because if some people, it's just like this. If I telling you, look here, don't go speeding down the road because there's a cop on the corner there writing you up. But you ain't listening, then you go on, and then when the consequences hit you a fine, and you don't have the money to pay the fine. Whose fault that was? But then you can't sit back and watch a whole country go to crap. And then you got Haitians on the other hand. There's no Bahamians in Haiti. There's no Bahamians in Haiti. None. But you got Haitians were here, with their children here talking about Haitian Bahamians. They trying to change the narrative of everything. Bahamians, don't be scared to call them what they is, right? Every country they go into, there's a problem. People don't want them there. You know why? Because of their religion. And I leave it just like that, Lincoln. Respect every time to you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, caller. Just touch on a couple of things. Hold the line, caller. I'll be right with you. Just hold the line. A couple people trying to get in the same time. And you can take one at a time. I'm sorry. The fast response by these government officials, y'all saw them, was trying to make it sound like someone was lying about the bill or that you were being mischievous or doing it for political gain. Let me tell you something. There's no political gain from what we're doing. Because regardless of what you say or how you say it, you're going to offend some people. You're going to offend some people. And that's the reality. If we was doing this for political gain, we'd be sucking up to those people like they are doing. We're not sucking up to anyone because this is about our country. Now, if I got to choose between a vote and standing up for this country and doing what's right, you can keep your vote. I can stand up for this country, one way or the other. We're not doing this for political gain. There's nothing to gain politically from this. If you all say that's 30% of the country, how are we gaining politically by standing up for what is right? By speaking truth to what is happening. It's them who are doing what they are doing for political gain. Don't let them fool you. But I wanted to say, Louis Georges put this video out there recently. I don't know how he's still allowed to talk in this country, but he put this video out there recently talking about the bill. I guess he's a lawyer now. He gone from what it is, JP the lawyer, I guess. He's talking about the bill, and he's saying that we're wrong and we're deceiving people on the bill because the bill does not give blanket immunity or blanket rights to anyone, meaning it doesn't give anyone from Haiti who wants to come here blanket rights. He said it gives individual rights. Every case is still individualized. And that's the truth, and that's exactly what we're saying. No one is saying it gives blanket rights. But you have a right to claim asylum individually. That's the problem. You can claim asylum. You could say that barbecue wants to kidnap you. that barbecue took your house and you scared to go back because you may get killed. They're killing people who go back to the neighborhood. And now you have a right to be here individually. So don't let them fool you with their nonsense. Asylum is for the person. When you open up your asylum laws, that person, whoever comes, claims asylum for themselves. And that's where the problem comes in. Don't let them tell you who is right or who is wrong with the law. Remember, every time two learned lawyers go to court, the two of them arguing the same law, but from opposite sides, right? And then someone has to make a decision. The judge or the magistrate has to make a decision. But that's two learned lawyers reading the same law and coming to different conclusions. So no one can tell you your interpretation of the law is wrong. Don't let them fool you by telling you what the law say. The courts will have to determine what that law say. And if you are too vague in it, the court can make any decision they want to make because you was vague. And this is what we are trying to avoid. Judges are sometimes wrong in the law. Don't you see the Supreme Court make one decision, then they go to appeal court, and the appeal court say that judge was totally wrong, and they throw it out? That's a judge. That's a learned judge with experience. Sometimes the appeal court is wrong. And the Privy Council tell them that's total garbage what y'all decided on. So don't let no one tell you what the law says. All right? Or make you feel wrong because you interpret it based on what you see. They are trying to trick you with this law. It's clear as day. Let's go to phone lines and we continue with that. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
We're focusing on Haiti as we should, but let me just make something more real. There's another country right next door to us. I don't know if the average Bahamian knows this. They're having an epidemic right now of Zika, chikungunya, and
That's
dengue.
Cuba.
Yes. Now, they also have asylum seekers. This government is not even focused on building the infrastructure to handle them. Can you imagine an outbreak of any of those that I call? And people are dying, by the way. I'm not saying this in any way to make fun of them or to put them down, but the reality is they are having an epidemic as we speak.
Yes, they are.
And they are also seeking asylum. So we have a serious issue right now.
Yes. Yes.
Pleasant good night.
All right, thank you. Yes, Cuba is, and there are a lot of Bahamians seeking treatment in Cuba. And Cuba is having an epidemic right now. And some of those Bahamians could bring that back here, or bring it here and cause the mosquitoes to spread it from biting them. I personally know a Bahamian who was there and who got the disease, and then now they're back in the Bahamas. So there is epidemics happening all over. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live, go ahead.
Good day, Mr. Ben.
Good day, how you doing?
This Korean Hunter. I just wanted to give you an observation from my perspective.
Yes.
Right? And then your defense. Your defense is, you really can't say you ain't doing your part. But what I look at now is, it's your supporters leaking who killing you. Let me say this why. Like you right now, over 400 people listening to you, watching your live.
Much more than that. That's just on my page.
Okay.
We're all over the internet.
No, don't follow me. You just came from you just did a slew of appearances at Bay Street. Looking at the videos, I show you that 400 people that out in Parliament Square supporting COI movement for this bill. Lincoln, your supporters is hurting you, bro.
My supporters is what? Say it again.
It is your supporters who is hurting you. I know you don't want to hear this, but take it from me, from someone who had people around me who would be, yeah. But at the end of the day, they're the ones who killing your reputation. Is your supporters. Okay, your political parties who don't take you, they're taking you serious because every time you call for action, Those same thousands of people which you claim on the internet watching you, which maybe is for entertainment, they ain't coming off their homes, they ain't coming off their jobs, if they so believe in this cause. You see? And that's the problem they get.
Let me help you understand something. I think you misunderstanding how this thing works.
Yeah, show me how it works.
When the army goes to war, the whole country is behind them, but only the soldiers go.
Yeah,
Listen, I can let you talk, but listen. Everyone doesn't go to war. Most Bahamians, not most, a lot of Bahamians work for the government. They are not going to come out to show their face, even though we did have government workers out there. A lot of Bahamians don't want to take that risk because the governments have been keeping them poor and been keeping them down and hurting them, so they can't take no risk. And so guess what? Any war that happens, Martin Luther King said, don't mind the people you see out there. It's like 20 people nationwide supporting this whole movement. It's always the few that have to stand up. And even if it has to be the 300 that goes out and fights for the entire nation, the 300 are going to have to stand up.
Could I say something?
Yeah, I can let you talk right now. It's always the courageous people who can take that risk. The majority of people you see out there with us protesting are people who are entrepreneurs, or people who are on pension, so they ain't working for nobody, or people are self-employed people. And you would notice that. Some of them are elderly people, look at their faces, because young people got to go to work. They can't take being seen on TV and they wasn't to work. And then they got children to feed, etc., etc. They down for the movement, that's why they...
I'm not saying what you didn't want to say that, because they're young people. My brother, when it's time for war, the armies recruit you. That's why a boy get locked up, the boxer get locked up because he didn't want to go to war. Your oldest son, 18, they just had a recruitment exercise in America when they thought Trump was going to war, when they made the announcement saying...
we talking about this asylum bill, We ain't really need to be going on with all this we're talking about. Get to the point.
I got to the point. The point is very clear. When you call for action, your membership, as much as you say, all the people over there watching you on TV, when it's time to make a difference and show a response and to then send a message, the COI populace does not come forward, because them same business owners you're talking about who showing their face, them same retired persons who showing their face, they getting ridiculed and they getting penalized for showing their face, bro. That's what you do, but guess what? They hurting because they don't have enough people coming out. So see why I have all these people, 5,000, 10,000, 8,000, everybody arguing. But when they can say, mobilize, come forward, he can't get a 10,000 man march. He can't get a 5,000 man march. Martin Luther King even was able to bring out them type of numbers when they marching for justice, and injustice was happening in any nation. So I'm saying to you, Mr. Pitt, with all respect, because you know me, you don't agree on everything. But I would say this today, is your supporters who has to now take their tail from between their legs, take off their chicken wings, and grow some eagle wings, bro. Because that's why you ain't winning or moving forward. There's no traction. You see how I ain't growing? Y'all just have the same old people every day who probably responsible for the immigration problem.
Someone in the audience is saying that they don't see you out there fighting for the things that you're talking about.
I don't see why.
No, fighting for the things that you're talking about.
Fighting for me.
All right. So I gotta take out the calls. All right.
No, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna respond to your audience.
All right, 803-5995 is the number, 803-5995. He is a fellow who is with Ali McIntosh them. They're showing up now. The election is coming up. Good afternoon, Cordy, you're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bain.
Good afternoon.
Yes. I know this station ain't about what the caller just was talking about, but it prompted me to call because this is the problem with Bahamians. That if he's talking about that protest that happened the other day downtown, that not only COI you're calling for.
Yeah.
And if he's concerned about this country, he should have been out there himself. That was not a COI thing.
Yeah.
That's a Bahamian thing, and that's what he failed to understand, and a lot of people failed to understand. Now I'm making this call all the way from Florida.
Yeah.
And it upset me for what he just said, because that's show forward that what they're thinking in the Bahamas. Oh, COI. It's about the Bahamas and Bahamian people.
Yeah, I can assure you, when this country is destroyed because of this asylum bill, it ain't just COIs who are going to be hurt. And I don't want you to notice who was there at that protest, because I was impressed with the people that came out there and filled that square. I don't want you to notice who was there. I want you to pay attention to who wasn't there. I want you to pay attention to who wasn't there, so that when they come, when election call and tell you come vote for them, I want you to ask them, where were they? All these 4 years when we was out there fighting for the Bahamian people, I want you to ask them where they was, because they wasn't there.
Sorry, Mr. Ben. And then he's saying, oh, your supporters. And that's the reason why, like, he's trying to tell you about his supporters. Your supporters, Mr. Ben, let me tell you something. There's a lot of people for not say you, but what you stand for and what you want our country to be. I'm over in the States. I have 2 sons, have master's degrees, and working over here, and they love their country. They were born there. We want to come home too. So we can, yes, we want to come home, and we need to help fix the problem and the situation, everything that's going on there. But it's a bunch of foolishness. The people that's there now, and Kareem is talking his nonsense, but the people and the supporters and all that, he needs to have his behind out there when something calls.
Well, the purpose of that was for him to promote himself. So you could hear his name. That wasn't really for the point of view he was putting across. He was trying to use this platform so that you could hear his name. That's all that was.
Well, sorry, I can tell you, I have a big family. Everyone is COI. I can tell you that. Everyone is COI. So I just want to talk to Kareem, what he was saying, and I listen. I'm one of those Bahamians that follow everything in my country over there. I be first thing in the morning listening to all the talk show and how they ridicule it and bringing you down and talking against you, cast stuff. I ain't gonna start calling names because there's so much of them. But anyway, there's a lot for you than what against you, Mr. Bain.
Thank you. All right, God bless you. Kareem Ancho was in the last election. He ran in Garden Hills. I don't even think he voted for himself. Ali McIntosh got 29 votes in the last election. Kareem Ancho got 11 votes in the last election. All right. So we'll go on from there. This is about the asylum bill and this devastating situation this country is going to be in if we don't take some action. Good afternoon, call you live. Go ahead. Yes.
I just had to call back. Listening to that guy who just called, I think I know him too. He makes ignorance look and sound intelligent. Let me just say this. Mr. Blaine, if there's any example about how powerful the COI and you as the leader of the COI has opened the minds of the Bahamian people, if there's anything about how strong the COI is and the party, when I look at my family, I have PLPs, solid councillors, Fnms who never wrote nothing else but Fnms, and 25 to 30 persons in that family all have joined and are COI. I have an 84-year-old sister, the oldest one, and she is as strong as an ox as a COI. And so that gentleman who called in, he's looking for notoriety. He's looking for something and trying to sow a seed, a discord by the devil to say that your supporters. No. The COI supporters. We love what you're doing. We respect the leadership of the COI, and this country, I believe, will send a message not only to the PLP and the FNM, but will also send a message to the world that the Bahamians are some of the most sensible person because they operate with the highest degree, which is degree of common sense. So when places like that looking for notoriety, they don't listen to them because they are trying to go somewhere where they will never be able to enter into the door. And so my brother and the organic seed Bahamian, we know that this country is on the road to change. And only one political party can bring change to this country is the COI. There are no changes in the PLP and the FNM. They don't know what change is because they are blinded by total corruption. Continue to open the eyes of the Bahamian people, my brother, and that people, the Bahamian people, will operate with the highest degree, which is common sense. So that gentleman, fight for the Bahamian, my brother, and let's fight together, because this bill will destroy you, your children, and your children's children. And stop looking for notoriety, for brownie points. There's no brownie points here. Mr. Lincoln is dealing with facts that is opening the eyes of the Bahamian people that no political leader in this country ever did what Mr. Bean is doing. He's educating the Bahamian people and informing them of the facts, which is the truth, that where this corrupt PLP government under the current leader, Philip Davis, and the complicit FNM want to take this country. They don't love this country. Mr. Bean is fighting. That's love. Like Jesus laid down his life for his friends. Mr. Bean is on the front line fighting, and we are fighting along with him. We the organic seed Bahamian. So today, God bless you, my brother, and the Bahamian people. Vote for the change, and we will have the change come 2026. God bless you, my brother, and be blessed.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I want to, okay, we got another call. Once you're done with this call, I want you to pull up the act again. Someone's asking me, they want to see how the bill ties to the other to the convention and where asylum is in this bill. So I just want to show persons that before we end. All right. Okay, we lost that caller. Where they go? We lost both of them. Okay, you can call back. Okay, there you are. Call you live. Go ahead. That's going to be from the smugglers bill you're going to be pulling up.
Hello.
Call you live. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Lincoln, how you doing?
I'm awesome, man.
Yeah.
Don't listen to your TV. Listen to the phone. Turn on your TV.
I was trying to say that, you know, on TikTok, the guy from Elutra was talking about how your politicians are trying to go against you, saying that they want another leader and this thing and the next thing, you know? And I don't understand why these people are just putting pressure and looking focus on you. Like you say, it's all about the nation, the Bahamian people.
Listen,
Common sense could tell them.
Coming up to this election, the PLP and FNM are going to pay people to go there and spread misinformation. There's zero truth to that. I was told that some fella from Elutra or something said that they had an emergency meeting after the by-election, and I was trying to oust someone, and the council said no, they're going to be ousting me. Listen. They can make up all kind of stuff, and I just said that a couple lives ago, a couple lives that we had. We don't have time to focus on them. They can make up everything. Next thing, they can say Veronica MacGyver joined the PLP. Then they can say Charlotte Green died. They can make up everything to throw you all off. Let's focus on what's important. And that is that this country is failing, and this country is being destroyed, and they're going to send all kind of people with a bunch of different stories to distract you. It happened last election. It's been happening every week. They've been making up another story about me, and then it just has turned out to be wrong. When we was going to have the protests in Miami, what they were spreading, they say, oh, Lincoln was put on the ban list, on the terrorist list. Remember they did that? Saying I can't travel. Yeah. They make up everything, and they pull these stuff from their backside, and so don't listen to nothing they have to say. If it's anything that needs to be said, I can say it. All right?
What I don't get is that the gentleman from Ilutra, I think he's Gandhi Lutra, he's not from Ilutra, whatever, a driftwood, you call them people, type of people. You cannot tell the people from Ilutra what is what and all that. You don't know about Ilutra. What I'm saying is that I don't understand. If you're from Ilutra, you should know what you've been through and what you're going through. One day you get the power off the whole night. Then you get the water off another night. And all these things going on year after
and you're
year
talking about
after year.
COI.
and you're talking about COI. That's what I don't get. That's why I always say to them, you remember when Hubert Ingram tell them in 92, Ilutra, if you don't give me 2 seats, y'all will be left out.
Yeah.
And they look like to me they won't be left out again. Because like they ain't get no common sense in Ilutra. You get the petty guy going back into election again. They bring him back and they don't disgrade him and still bring him back. And they people still gonna try to accept him. Because they know the things what he do. You understand? And they stuck.
Let me tell you something. You're from Ilutra?
Yes.
All right. When Ilutra was going through his issues, his power issues, and his water issues, the COI jumped on a plane to make sure that the world knew what was going on. We went and showed the tanks. We walked inside the tank. Me and Veronica MacGyver and Maria Daxon, we walked inside that big rusty tank and showed the rusty tank they have sending rusty water to people's homes. We showed the issues that was really going on. We went and showed the desalination plant that they have there, and we educated the public as to what was really going on and forced the government's hand to fix that problem. All right? This isn't a party that just talks, you know. We were the ones holding the government foot to the fire. Where was the Fnm? Where was any of these other parties that just want to pop up all of a sudden? We was the ones spending our money and making sure we fight for the Bahamian people. When the people of Bryland was complaining about what was happening with them, they're being overtaken and their issues, we jumped on the plane, you know. We went to Harbor Island.
Yes, I remember.
We went to Harbor Island and they told me, they said, no, this certain part of Harbor Island you can't go because the Asians take that over. They say, no, that's the criminals. They got guns and stuff like that. I say, can't go in my country. Not a day like it. And we went there.
Exactly.
And we saw an Asian there. And I saw an Asian man with a gun in his waist. And we walk up to him and he run and gone. But no one could tell us we can't be nowhere in our country. After we left, they said immigration down there. We went down there and dealt with that situation. So anyone who won't just be talking about us when we fighting for the country, and they talking about us trying to fight us, then you know where their loyalty lies. They want us to stay in the issues that we have in. They want the Fnm and the PLP to continue to ruin this country because the Fnm and the PLP ruined Ilutra. The both of them. Because we couldn't get water under the Fnm. They wouldn't pay the bills, etc. for the water used to be off. We had electricity problems.
I know.
Go ahead, Carl.
I know many years ago, they marked a land between Palmetto Point and Governor's Harbor that they said that they were going to build a hospital, right?
Yeah.
And today, the hospital is still not build up and the bushes keep growing up and everything. That's why I don't get it. And they still ain't waking up. One time ago, I know Governor's Harbor was the capital. Now everybody saying Roxanne. How Roxanne get the capital of Eleuthera? That's what I don't get. You know, everybody don't understand. The first Governor General landed in Governor's Harbor. That's why they name it Governor's Harbor.
Yeah.
You understand? And the people also need to understand that because where you from, where did the Eleuthera Adventures landed? In Governor's Harbor. Where was the first, one of the first House of Assembly? In Governor's Harbor. They used the telephone pole, come out the cedar tree to call to.
All right, I won't go on
to
too
let
much
people
different
know what
topic
it was.
because other people trying to call in, all right? But I'm glad you called in. Thank you, man.
Okay, sir.
All right.
No problem.
All right. You know, we made this clear. A lot of people have short memories, and that's why we normally do an end of year live so people can remember what we did for the year. We've been fighting. From the Dorian supply situation, we've been fighting. We've been fighting for all kinds of issues all over this nation. Now, after the act came out, it was us who was exposing everything what was going on. It was us holding the government's foot to the fire. Right? The Fnm was not there with us fighting. They was in vacation mode. No other party was there. We were the official, real opposition in this country. And so people might appreciate it or might not appreciate that. Hold on, caller, I'll get you next. Listen, there are going to be people that they send to the party to speak, that they send. They're going to be on social media. They're going to be talking good about the COI. And they're going to be saying all kind of good things. You're going to think they COI. And so at the right moment, the last minute, they switch on the COI and then start switching. So people can say, see, yeah, there's even COIs leaving. That person was never a COI. All right? That's a strategy. They send them to look like they're a COI or start talking with a COI, and then eventually they're going to switch their talk. All right? They're going to send some people into the party. They may send one to be a candidate. All right? Oh, they need a candidate for this area. Go there and go be a candidate for that area. And then the last minute, we want you to kick up trouble and then start saying all kind of things. So it look like they're unstable. That is political strategy. All right? I don't want you all falling for these stuff when election come. All right? That's political strategy. So they could be all over saying all kind of stuff but us. All right? They say what they say, the fellas say I'm mad with the Fnm. Listen, I don't hold things against my enemies. Don't mix me up. I ain't holding no gripe against no one. Nobody. All right? People have wronged me publicly, and I've shown them love publicly. That's me. Don't mix me up because I'm a strong person who stands up. All right? I've shown them love. Even that evil police commissioner, a deputy commissioner who arrested persons, beat persons, did all that he did. I can't speak for no one else, but publicly I went to him and said, listen, I forgive you. I know what you did. You put me in jail. You had me in the cell for more than the required time. You broke international law by what you did to us. But I told him, I forgive you. No big deal. I don't hold nothing against nobody. That's not me. Don't mix me up. I don't hold gripes. So you could think whatever you want to think on your end. But I've had people go on Clint Watson show and call me all kind of names, and I just go and show them love. I don't do that. So don't mix me up. My vendetta is not against the Fnm. My vendetta is not against the PLP. I just want a country that works properly. And they ain't been doing it. So we gotta step up. That's the issue. Me speaking out against the wrong that they are doing is not a vendetta. We are paying them to do a job. And so if I'm paying you to do a job, I need you to get that right. Because it don't just affect me. It affects all of us and it affects our children. This ain't but no petty politics. Our country is broken, for Christ's sake. In every way, there's no part of our country that is working properly. This ain't no vendetta. But they make money from the brokenness of this country. They want this to remain a cowboy town. So they're going to pay these trolls anything to say what they got to say, to lie to you, to deceive you, to get you to stay 50 years in the past. This election comes up, see why I don't win? I ain't going to lose, you know. I could live in any country. I could live in no country. I could do business from anywhere. All I need is a device. And I straight. There's a lot of people who are running with the COI who don't have to be doing this. This is a risk to them. They out there running against the government, you know. They running against the system. They telling the system, we're going to take what you have and give it to everyone. You can spread this to the people. That's what this message is. So if anyone wants to go listen to these trolls and what they're being paid to do, then that's on you. In the meantime, I ain't got time to focus on that. I gotta be on the front line in front of them bullets. I gotta be in the shanty town walking over their altars. I gotta be fighting this real fight. How much time they tell us, man, don't go in them shanty town, man. Then people can fix you, they can do this, they can do that. Well, if you can fix me, if I gotta die fighting for this to bring awareness to what's happening, then let them fix me. But this country will not be destroyed. Not on my watch. 20 years from now, I can tell my children, if God allows me to be alive, that I fought. That I did what I had to do. Let's go to the phone lines. Call you live.
You could hear me?
Yes.
Good night, Mr. Bean. Good night, Bahamas, and good night, Bird. I live in the Foxhill community. I'm trying to figure out why the likes of it, that in the Foxhill community, we are outnumbered. When I say outnumbered. We have a lot of people that carrying these documents. But one thing I don't understand, how is it that NIB have the names of the people, real parents, but the Department of Immigration doesn't? I don't understand that. Fred Mitchell, I don't know, but Fred Mitchell is responsible for travel visa. How is it that people obtaining travel visa when they don't even have their own identity and their own country? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But in order for you to be able to get any type of document, you must have a birth certificate. How is it that you don't have a birth certificate, but yet you have documents? You have passport. You getting Bahamian voters card and all of these things. What this government dealing with? What they dealing with? Right now, like I tell people, I live in Foxhill, they get mad. Oh, leave the people alone, they can fix you. I say, hey, when they ready, I give them my name, tell them where I live, you want my hair, whatever you want, I give that to you. Because I believe in the Almighty God. It's sad that our own is doing this to us. They saying it is a mixed breed. No. I have seen it where I have been calling out people them, but our own doing it to just us. Not just the foreigners, but our own doing it. And that's sad. That's sad. Like I tell him, I don't have nowhere to go. Yeah. Where you're going, every country right now have its problems right now. Every country. Why must we take on a burden of a whole different country when they're warring and killing up one another? Imagine what they could do to us. Come on, these people need to wake up. This is no time to be playing sleep. Wake up.
All of the countries are tightening down on immigration right now. All of the countries. And guess what? That means we could be stuck with whatever Brave and Pinta them do. That's why we got to fight to keep this country the way it is. We got to stop them from destroying our nation.
They sitting back and relaxing and enjoying the show. No, you get children. I know somebody right now would want to retire and can't retire because he come to me, asked me to do some research for him. The name of he telling me, say, I know he's a real Bahamian, but he telling me the name is of his mother. So I went to his uncle because his uncle is an elderly man. He gave me the real name. He said, but why your nephew, he ain't come to my nephew, he ain't come to me. I said, he ain't gonna come to you. So I went back to the man and I was explaining. I said, you sure this your mommy name? He's saying yes. The name that he gave me is not registered. So I gone back to the uncle. I said, you sure? He said, yes. I ran search on that name. Come to find out the name of the uncle give me is actually registered. And that's the man, that's his mother, real name. You was a Bahamian. How come you don't know who your mother real name? But yeah, he helping the foreigners to get status for Canada and peace. So you know that I went back to him the last time. You know what I tell him? Since you helping the foreigners, let the foreigners goddamn help you. No, I can tell you, I don't want your fucking money. Sorry, my language. I don't want your money.
You're on the radio. You okay? You're on TV.
I say, I don't want your money. I said, because at the end of the day, I ain't no treasonous traitor. I said, if my mother was to come before me with fraudulent documents, I would have turned her ass over to the government. Because I can't stand these people that betray their country. The only thing that causes is a bunch of problems.
Yeah.
People who can understand the foolishness what's going on.
Yeah. Well, Lincoln Bain is going to fight. And if you vote for PLP or Fnm, country gone. If you vote for the COI, we can fix this.
They treason traders. I can't, like I told Fred Mitchell before, at the end of the day, he's telling me we could do dual passport. Where? In which country? Only diplomats, not famous.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your call.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Section 30 of that bill. I just want to read that quickly. Section 30 of that bill. Section 30 of that bill. I'm going to go to it while he's pulling it up. The process related to return of smuggled migrants. So this is the smuggled migrants. All right. So process related to return of smuggled migrants. The smuggler's bill. All right. So you go to section 30 of that. That's page 17. All right. So, all right, put up there on the screen for them to see it. I want them to see how this is an asylum bill. Okay, that should be it. All right, referral of immigrants with specific protection needs. All right, so this is the return of smuggled migrants. The rules for the minister. In performing functions under this part, the minister shall ensure that smuggled migrants seeking asylum, you all saw that in there, right? I ain't put that in there. This is their bill. That smuggled migrants seeking asylum for international protection under the convention. Under what? Convention. So that means you have to refer to the convention. All right? Relating to the status, under the convention relating to the status of refugees or international law are quickly referred to the appropriate authorities. So you have to make sure that they are not dealt with like criminals, that they go to the refugee unit and that they are released, all right? And they are housed. You got to put them in hotel or find housing for them, proper housing, all right? Like what we've already shown you is happening in England and Canada and America. And that's what this is, all right? Next, it says, the minister shall, so this puts the government with a responsibility. The minister shall ensure that the office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is given the necessary access to the smuggled migrants who are asylum seekers. This ain't about asylum? This is the bill. You see it with your own eyes. All right? So I don't want you to let these demons who are trying to pass this bill, I don't want you to let them deceive you. This said, this other rules, operational framework, right? Ensure that the measures taken are compliant with human rights of migrants, the humanitarian obligation. Sorry, I didn't tell you where I'm reading from. This is section 26. So go back to section 26, and I'm reading from section 2E. 26.2E. Ensure that the measures taken are compliant with human rights of migrants, the humanitarian obligations toward migrants, including the right of migrants to leave a country, the right to seek asylum, to seek international protection, and the right to pursue protection of non-refoulement. That's an act, man. Why are they playing with us? They think that you could read, but you ain't going to read straight down to section 26? Well, they ain't going to read that long. You could put the first set, you could just talk about smuggling, smuggling, smuggling. And Brave say, show them it in the bill. This their bill. This their bill. This they have a fake profile. They have a lot of fake profiles now. Any profile is anonymous. Don't give them no credibility, all right? They have these anonymous profiles now, fake profiles. I sure Pindad got a bunch of them. They have people on there commenting these fake stuff, all right? One of them just posted on here, COI will not win a seat in the election coming up. That ain't our loss, you know. That's the loss of the Bahamian people. Do you think that's our loss? Now, if I feel somebody go win a seat, I ain't want him with them. That's like me saying Fred Mitchell will not win a gold medal in the Olympics. If I feel that ain't gonna happen, so I ain't gonna be talking about that. That ain't even a remote possibility. So why are you talking about that? No, you talking about it because you scared it actually happen. You trying to convince yourself otherwise. If they feel the COI ain't gonna win, why they talking about COI every day, all day? Because they know something in the air. They talking about us, you know. If I believe something ain't even remotely possible, I ain't gonna be talking about that. That ain't a conversation. Lincoln Bain will not win the Miss Universe competition next year. You could be talking about that? So that shows you that they're afraid. That's why they're saying it. They're trying to convince themselves. All right? And so I just wanted everyone to be able to see that. I don't want you to be fooled by paid trolls. Again, stop listening to rumors, man. Stop listening to rumors. We don't have time for that. All right? Let's focus on the issues of this country. Maria Jackson calls it national issues. Let's focus on the national issues of this country. All right, if you feel COI ain't gonna make it, okay, you feel they ain't gonna make it. Let's talk about the national issues that COI talking about. That's what's important. Let's fix this country. All right, this ain't about us. This is about this nation and the way that we are suffering in this nation. War is about to break out, according to Trump, in Venezuela. They both have boots on the ground. That's more refugees. And we run here talking about whether COI go win or not. Listen, I want this country to win. We have not won under the Fnm. We have not won under the PLP. I want this country to win. All right. Now, you all didn't have any chance to say anything in the studio audience. Anyone want to say anything before? Yeah. All right. All right, hold on. We'll deal with him. Go ahead. All right, I got to come to you. Okay, come. I load it. Go ahead. Go ahead, come.
Oh. Yeah, I would just like to say to my Bahamian people, you're hearing from the horse's mouth, okay? And he is opening the eyes of the Bahamian people. Do you see Pentad or Davis doing this? Do y'all see Bahamians open your thing straight? Now use your common sense, like brother elders say. Use your common sense. Look around, man. We have a country that is on the eve of flipping over on the other side of hell, and y'all worrying about the COI. Wake up, Bahamians. We are losing our country, and y'all still fighting and talking foolishness about this one and the next one. Look here. The COI is the only one right now I am hearing that is opening the eyes. Wasn't for Mr. Bain and KCX that is already dead. They probably killed him. I don't know. And my homeboy Blackmail, wasn't for them, I would have still been blinded. Mm-hmm. Thinking about looking at the Fnm, because I never had any mind for PLP. But now, because my eyes are open up, and I'm thinking straight now. I'm looking for a change in this country, and the only change I see coming here is the COI, because the COI is the only one is out there putting themselves in the risk, on the line. The PLP ain't doing it. All they doing is messing up my country. The FNM ain't doing. All they doing is messing up my country. The only one I see that have a plan going forth is the COI, Lincoln and his godly crew that is coming forth. So let's stop looking at this thing and playing crackheads in this country. Wake up and do right in this next election, because if we don't do this time, our country is messed up completely.
Yeah.
Behemoths, wake up, man.
Yeah.
Wake up. Wake up.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, my dear brother, Lincoln Bain.
This Kareem Angel who's just on the phone.
Yeah, that's the Angel man. Yeah, let me just let you all see who I is. No, I ain't a BCP. I am an independent. The reason why, and then,
bro, we talking about the asylum bill. We had to talk about you.
I have to, because that's my reputation. You providing this information. I have to make sure they understand who I am. Correct?
You are with Ali them. You endorse Ali them, and you all been working together. But we ain't gonna be talking about your personal life. You talking about the asylum bill, or you about to leave?
You still talking for Angel? You still talking? For
I just gave you two options.
No, let me give you some current information. Just as I am running independent because my focus.
Bro, I ain't here to promote you or your campaign.
You saying about me, so I'm gonna clear up me. Please.
Boss, I give you one more chance. You on top of the asylum bill or not?
Asylum bill, but let me clear up this one thing. I am independent and I focus on community development and change. That's it. Secondly, COI won't be government. That's Mr. Bain's category. I don't have no reason to worry about who could be PM. My focus is change start from the bottom, and that's constituency. Until we have the plan that could eradicate or try to bring more income into the homes of the people that we say we're fighting for. How many times have we seen governments go in?
You're talking about the asylum bill.
I'm not finished. How many times we see government go in, say they doing national programs and plans, and it never reach the people in Bain and Grants Town. Now the asylum bill, that's a clear cut. Any Bahamian at the age of 9 could understand that the PLP government, from they came in, they put the Haitians first. Okay, this is no secret. I might have the clout or the reach that you may have, but the people on the ground who know what Hanchels fight for, they fight for the same thing. There was a one point in time when I was on every march that the COI had. I at one point had to lead the COI when you was locked up. Me and Maria had to lead them back on Bay Street to give out the letters to the parliamentarians. Y'all remember that? So don't ever say that I disrespect the COI, because I love anybody who want to fight for Bahamians, whether it's you, whether it's BCP, whether it's independent, okay, at the end of the day. So just spread the information, right, is all I'm saying. That's why I came here, so people could, one, see who Hanchel is. That's why I cut my hair. Okay.
So you came here to promote yourself.
Whatever you want to call it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kareem Angel.
Okay.
This is Kareem Angel. He came here so y'all could see him. Y'all heard him, now he wants y'all to see him. They saw you. All right? All right, thank you. All right. My brother, one thing I don't do is tell lies, because if I was doing any lies up to this time, the government would have dealt with me. The opposition would have. No, you came here to promote yourself. All right. So let's continue. Let's continue. All right. So this turned into comedy hour, but this is open to whoever wants to come here. But back to it, we talk about the asylum. You disturbing the meeting now. All right, thank you. Yeah. All right, so he came here to promote himself so you could see him, to say that he is running. So next, all other people who are running, you can come during the live and you can show your face. I ain't got no problem with that. You can show your face, you can say hi, you can let them know that you're back. My friends from the DNA, they back, so y'all can come anytime, and y'all could Yeah, you can say hello and, yeah, drop by and tell them you're still here, you're still alive. And you could do that. Let the whole country see you. All right? So you're welcome anytime. All right? Anytime. Pintad, you want to come? Come now, man. Let them see you, man. Let's go, Pintad. Yeah, come be a part of a change. All right? I see you copying everything we doing, so, but I don't know. But, yeah. Y'all let Brave come in here? Yeah, you can't come in. You can't? Okay. Listen. Boy, listen to me. I can tell you one thing. Brave bad, repentant would be 1,000 times worse. I tell you in my experience. So we got to get rid of the two of them. All right? So we just need the people to wake up. This asylum bill is deadly. And Bahamians are taking this too lightly. And that's why we took the time to educate our people about what's going on with this asylum bill. Last thing I want to talk about, I want to mention this. I saw a nice article with someone put out about Bahamians saying that we don't understand our real history. And they started to give examples of people who contributed to Bahamian history. I forget. I need to be talking in this or the lapel? In the lapel, yeah. Sorry about that. They talked about people who've contributed to our Bahamian history. And they used that to say that we already mix up and we shouldn't want to have an identity, basically. Because they said that Stephen Dillett was the first MP. And they talked about people like the Maynards. They said the police officers, the British brought Barbadian and Trinidadians here to be police officers, etc. And I want to say this for you to understand this and say this so you could get this. Because some people don't really get what has been happening and where we are today. They said that they brought in people to be police officers and take those positions. And that's why you have certain people with foreign names who came here and they had children and they are part of our society. So how could we be talking about who is organic Bahamian when these people contributed to our society, is what they're saying. They said that even Pinland had Jamaican roots, etc. And so we shouldn't have the right to want to be organic Bahamians. Let me make this clear to you. There are people from foreign lands who contribute to every nation. Someone from a foreign land contributing to your nation does not mean that you should dilute who you are or what your nation is or what the culture is. You can come to my land and contribute, but this is still my land. That's right. British brought foreign police here because they didn't trust our local police to be able to control them. It is an old tactic. They did that everywhere. They bring in foreigners to lord over the locals because they didn't want the locals banding together to overthrow them so they could have less soldiers there. And so it causes a mixture. But there are persons who have contributed to the American society who are not Americans. But yet they are still proud Americans. And America still has a culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are foreigners who contributed to Britain. But Britain still has its culture, despite what foreigner contributed to that. We are the Bahamas. And despite who came here and contributed in whatever way they did, they contributed to this. Not for this to be diluted and destroyed. We are proud Bahamians. And so, yes, we have a culture where we're not confrontational. So many of the original persons who fought in this country were foreign. They had a different mindset. Jamaicans and Haitians, they think different from us. We don't fight. We're not confrontational. That's not us. Now we get row. But we're not confrontational to speak truth to power. We were the most broken of all the slaves. And so, yes, some people with some different blood in them had to come and stand up for us. But they were standing up for this. Their blood don't dilute this. We are Bahamian. And now it's time for the children of those ones who couldn't stand up because they were ignorant, didn't know the truth. It's time for their children and grandchildren to stand up. It's time for the real organic Bahamians to stand up for this. And we're going to stand up for this. I don't care where the Maynards was from. I don't care where the Baileys was from. I don't care where Pinland was from. I know that I'm from here. And I know that they was fighting for this, even though their ancestors was from somewhere else. And so we gonna fight for this. That's what we are going to do. Let me tell you something. The people that contributed to the civil rights movement of fight with Martin Luther King, more of them were white. Can you believe that? He didn't have any success until the white people showed up fighting for them. And so that didn't change the fact that that was a black movement, because white people saw that this is a cause that has to be fought for, and they contributed. When they first went to Selma to try to cross that bridge and to march to Selma, the black people were there. The authorities break them up, crack some of their skull, beat them bad. The next one, Martin Luther King said he coming. He couldn't come to the first one because he was cheating on his wife and he had to stay away and tend to his family. Yes, men are human. People make mistakes, but he was still a great man. And so this time, he got the blessing of his wife, and he said, I could be to the next one. And after seeing all the abuse, the white people started to say they coming. They could be on that march. And guess what? That march was full of white people on a black march, full of white people. And guess what? That time, Martin Luther King was in the front. I know what the police did. They opened the part and said, y'all can go through. Because they couldn't be seen attacking their own. But whatever it was, Martin Luther King said, I just deal with drama. Since you know drama, we go back this way. But I want you to know that there were persons who contributed to that fight that were not black. That's what I want you to understand. So don't tell me that we must let 15 million people come in this country because Stephen Dillett was a Bahamian of Asian descent. And he was the first MP. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Yes, our black people was held down and held back. You know, I went to Barbados to open a shoe store. And I saw something different when I went there. In the Bahamas, they block you at every turn doing business. Everything they make difficult, opening your bank account, getting your license, everything they make hard. But when I went to Barbados, it was like I was like the foreign investor. They was like rolling out the red carpet. It's like, wow, I'm a foreigner, and they rolling out the red carpet. That actually felt good. But I was still a foreigner. That's their country. We got some foreigners who come in our land and contribute to our land. It's still our land. There are some second homeowners who love this Bahamas as much as most Bahamians. They foreigners, you know. It's them who build back Abaco. The government ain't spent $1. It's them who build back Abaco. They love this country, but they're not trying to change and say, because we contribute to this country, you must become more like America or more like Canada. You can't be organic Bahamians. They want you to have your country. They want you to love your country. They want your culture. They want your culture to remain the way it is. They want that. That is real civilized thinking. Don't tell me because of who was mixed with this and who was mixed with that in the past that we gotta just forget what we are. No. I am Lincoln Bay and I am a proud Bahamian. I don't know nothing else. I don't want nothing else. I don't want to be American. I don't want to be Canadian, British, nothing. I am a Bahamian. I know all my roots, my Bahamian roots, and that's all that mattered. Don't tell me that this used to be the Lucayans and the Arawaks land before. They gone. They gone. This our land now. When I buy a piece of property, Don't tell me but who used to own that property before me. They gone. This is a new thing. This the Bahamas. And don't tell me you must take this over, my country, because the two of us from Africa. Oh, go Africa and try land there legally then. Go on. No. A man's house is his house. And you should not break in the back door of his house. As much as I love my brothers, I love my sisters, I ain't gonna break in their back window, jump to the window, and they come home and meet me with the milk bottle turned up to my head in their children's room. It's decency and order. And anyone who tells you anything different is wrong. They're trying to make you think that we are hateful. They're saying that we're spreading a message of hate. Not a day like it. We don't hate nobody. We don't hate people. We just love ourselves. And all we're asking is to do this thing right. Lastly, Bahamians don't hate nobody. We're the friendliest people in world history. Yes. The friendliest. We still accept them. We love them. They still work for us now. They still do our yard. We still love them. But we just don't like people coming here illegally and taking over. That's all. We have taken care of them. Listen, we went to school with them. That's our boys. That's our people. Yes, some of them get teased in school. Bahamians got teased in school too. All us get teased for something. We don't hate nobody. We let you live here. We took care of you. All we're saying is, listen, if you're in, you're in. We understand. But we can't keep this door open and let people keep flooding us. The only certain amount can hold on the boat. And at some point, the boat can sink with all us who in. And that's a problem. That's common sense. Canada is now broken. England is broken. America was being destroyed. Trump had to step in and save that. Trudeau had to step down in Canada. England had to keep changing prime ministers. Why we gotta go through that before we realize what's going on? We put this man who said he is a Haitian, he's of Haitian descent, as prime minister, and look what happened. Now you got Pintard, who on one side, on his daddy's side, is of Haitian descent, and his mummy is an actual Haitian. He was adopted. His birth mother, Miss Benson, adopted him, as far as I know. And I still can't find his birth certificate. This is not to say that in itself is the problem, you know. My problem is, I think it's time for real Bahamian who will put Bahamians first in charge of this country. Mm-hmm. They've never made being Bahamian a good thing. They've always had us as second class and last class in our country. Yes. Bahamian culture has never been important. Our identity has never been important. But we could fix that. And we could take the Bahamas to the world. We should not be bragging about a basketball player who lived on generator. We should be ashamed. 50 years later. Had to be living off generator. Had to be playing on concrete court with crate. We should be ashamed. That's nothing to brag about. We should not have 1, 2, 3 athletes scattered about. We should have a nation of that because we are the most talented people on the face of this earth. Academically, athletically, spiritually. I believe in the Bahamian people. And I ain't letting no one come here and bring their culture and dilute this. Griot will never be our national dish, even though that's all you're seeing on our waki now. How you selling griot on our waki? How other people, foreigners, making our kung salad? See, I ain't got no problem. This man, listen, I love them, you know. I love all people. But I just want the Bahamas to be for Bahamians, man. That's all. And if I'm wrong for that, then y'all crucify me. I don't mind being wrong. But this is the only country we got, man. Yes. And I say this from my heart. I can't let no one take this over. And that's whether that's Indians or Chinese or Jews or whoever it is. I can't let no one take this country from us, man. This is ours. This is all we got. Bahamians unite. Unite. Forget about parties. Bahamians, unite. Or you will lose this entire thing. Dorian was a warning. I don't know if I should say this, but I watched Dorian thread the needle between Hispaniola and Cuba. Missed the whole thing because normally they're weekend hurricanes. And it came up as a category 1, came alongside the whole Bahamas and parked outside of Abaco, and then became a category 5 overnight. Came over Abaco and sat like it was on a remote control. Just sat over Abaco. And then went and touched the end of Grand Bahama. And then instead of going where the track said it was going to go into Florida, it turned around and gone the other way. That was a warning. Y'all let that place build right up right there. Let all them altars and all that get built. Right in your country. We are not Chinese. We are not Haitian. We're not American. We're not European. We are the Bahamas. And you can respect us. And the world will know our name. And we will be the Bahamas 1,000 years from now. And our children will be prosperous. And the world will know their names. And we will contribute to this world. And we will transform not just this nation. We will transform this world. Our unborn children, I speak a blessing on them today. I fight so that they can be blessed. Our unborn children. Our children will not be replaced by the children of others. This will be our country, and we will fight for this. And we will not let our politicians sell us out. Bahamians, unite. Let's take this land. Let's give it to our people. And let's rise. It's time to rise. Ladies and gentlemen, see you all next week. So we won't be in studio next week, but we'll be live. We're going to be doing our Christmas giveaway. And so make sure you're there to be a part of our sweepstakes and everything else. It's going to be fun. You're going to be able to watch, and from wherever you are, we'll try to get a couple phone lines up so you all could call. At least a couple phone lines you all could call in, and persons can win, electronics and different stuff. And that's our form of giving back and how we want to give back. Remember, it's going to be right here. It's going to be it's not the taxpayers' money. That's what we contributing. And so we're going to give back to the person. So make sure you tune in and make sure you could be a part of this and get your little prizes and your gift certificates and whatever else you could get. It's going to be fun. So we're going to have a positive time next week, and then we're going to take a break until the beginning of January. We deserve a break. We've been working hard all year. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, I got to take a break. I've been working hard. Don't call me. Now, you got people that's calling me 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. They ain't got no heart. It's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I don't go to bed till 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. And they call in 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. How you explain that? How you explain that? But some people call 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't get you in the day, so I say I call, It's like seriously, this is Sunday morning at 5 o'clock. You calling me? But I know that people are going through a lot of distress right now. I had to go on the beach, on Junkanoo Beach, and speak to securities out there who are harassing the vendors because behind that hotel, the Chinese hotel, there's a beach there, but it's all hard sand. And they were running the vendors, the Bahamians, off of that area, but that's hard sand. And so I informed them that you cannot run the Bahamians from that area. That belongs to the Bahamian people, all right? Soft sand, that's your loan. Hard sand, that's ours. So Bahamian won't go there, and the Bahamians have license, to be there. But they are harassing them. I'm so tired of seeing Bahamians abused in this country. I'm sick of it, man. What the taxi drivers going through, what the vendors going through in this country, the civil servants can't get paid. Come on, man. But if we vote for it, that's what we could get. All right? But like I said, don't call me tomorrow. I got to take a break. And after next week's live, we could take a break. Unless there's some emergency, we'll go live now. We could take a break until the new year because we want you spending your time with family, not talking politics and the issues. Spend your time, enjoy that, and remember the reason for the season. All right? The reason for the season, remember. The reason for the season is not Santa Claus. It's not Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty the Snowman. The reason for the season is not even baby Jesus. The reason for the season is you. Christ came to this earth, and Christ died for you, not for himself. He didn't need that. He didn't have to do that. He was on the throne. He came down here for you, so that you could have life and have life more abundantly. He wants you to be prosperous. He gave you a good, prosperous land and made you land here. Your ancestors sacrificed. They came on that ship. They tilled the soil. He did all that so you could get this prosperous land. So it's time for us to prosper. Why? Because the reason for the season is you. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next week. God bless you. Oh, sorry. Tomorrow, that's tomorrow? Tomorrow we're having a prayer conclave right here at our headquarters. And so anyone who wants to participate in that, please be here tomorrow. What time? Tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I thought I'd tell you I'm taking tomorrow off. Now I don't have another day off. And so 7 o'clock tomorrow, for those who believe in prayer, because listen, them people fighting this with all kind of funny business. And so we got to continue to pray. So every month until election, we're going to be here and we're going to be praying and putting it down. So we want you to come and be a part of this. And so be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. And be a part of it. I'll be here. And our team will be here. We got to pray our way through this. So you want to be a part of that? Everyone, come on down. Let's pray our way through this and break this curse that they have us under. Because these politicians got to be under a curse for this kind of things that they're doing. All right? We got to break that. And we could do it with prayer. So thank you all. See you next week. See you tomorrow. And then see you next week.
Okay.